Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Hope you're doing well on a Balls McWednesday game day, baby. I'm Jeff. That is Tom. Matthew back to directing the show. Tom back to producing the program. I know you're not at full strength. Just need basically the equivalent of an inning out of you today. Hello, everybody.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
That's not what you're going to hear all day. But that said, we're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always, if you miss things, go back, get caught up. All 3 hours going to be posted upon the conclusion of the program, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. So there you go. You're all set there. Also, if you use the WTSM app, which works for Android or iPhone, then you can find the show's archive there. In addition to listening to them on your phone. So if you're getting any kind of tropos, you said, I'm done with you, tropos. And you go over there and you listen to it on the app. Email the show if you want. A lot of emails I'll get to today. I'll include some angry emails. Those are fun. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameron Show, the WTSM app, good for mobile devices. And it's Florida State Clemson tonight. Yes, sir. Yeah?
Yeah? Are you checking on me? Is that what you're looking at? Well, Vegas seems to think that we're a prohibitive favorite tonight.
Well, I've said it a lot this week, and I've gotten it out there just because I know it to be true, and it's been a problem. But we got two really good players who we really rely on to play well in these big games. In any of our games, for that matter, who have been banged up, and they're playing through it, but it's really quite clearly, affecting their performance. You're seeing a Terrence Mann that ordinarily can slash and get to the basket and get a lot of rebounds and do things to stuff the box score, if you will, filled with impressive numbers, and he always kind of does it in a way that maybe you're not even aware of, and then afterwards you're like, well, good Lord, Terrence Mann went for 16, 10, and 6. Things like that. And we're not seeing that guy. He's not playing that way. And Brian Angola is going through a shooting slump, and he too has been dinged. And when you have those two guys struggling simultaneously, it's a big problem. And so if they're right, if they're healthy enough, if they're able to work through these ankle problems that they have and play at a pretty close to 100%, yeah, I too like us tonight because we'll play as the more desperate team. Clemson's already locked in here. They're going to the NCAA tournament. I joked about this about how I've dismissed Clemson every week of the season until finally I said, well, stop doing that. That would make you angry if people were just summarily dismissing Florida State, and Florida State was 20-4 and 9-3 in the ACC. What do they have to do to prove they're a good team? Yeah, they have. They've proven they're a good team. They're a real good team, and so you're going to have to play well. But they won't be the more desperate team on the road tonight. That'll be the home team. And if you're healthy enough to reap the rewards of the intensity that I suspect we'll play with tonight, well, then great. But if you're hurt and you can't execute despite being locked in, focused, and intense, it does you no good. There's only so much you can do to survive on emotion. Your physical tools have to be in play.
When we talked on the phone earlier this week, health and other things came up, but we were talking about the magnitude of this game. In that moment, you said, I believe, this is your season. Do you still believe that?
Well, I think it can be construed in that way. If you want to be overly dramatic, and maybe in that moment I was, you could say that I'm factoring in the likelihood. I'm looking at percentages of the other games when I make a statement like that. So
yeah, like our chances at NC State, for example.
Right. No, could we beat NC State? Yes, of course we could. But I'm just talking about where I think your best bet lies. And your best bet in terms of punching your ticket is to win tonight at home against the fourth-rated RPI team in the country. Because I'd rather get this win and drop the NC State game, but have this nugget in our back pocket, have this excellent win to go with the other 5, that are on your schedule that the committee, when looking at the entirety of your resume, is going to say, well, good God, man, they got 6 top 50 RPI, top 25 RPI wins. You know, they're going to look at that road Florida trouncing. They're going to look at the game against North Carolina. They're going to look at the game here against Clemson if you get it. They're going to say, some impressive wins here that this team has. And, you know, guys, I understand they lost to Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's getting healthier and playing a little bit better. That didn't look so bad. Now it was on the road. You know, the Wake loss is really kind of the one, but you got one bad one, you know, to go with these other really impressive wins. So I feel like if you get this win, you're going to beat Pitt, so you can just chalk up automatically another win. So now you're up to 8. You got to get one more win, and I feel like you should be able to beat BC at home if you're a tournament team. So this goes a long way, I think, in punching the ticket. And if you lose it, well, now you've really you sit on the right side of things right now on the ledger. You are not on the bubble as you enter tonight's game. You're close to it. You can see it. You can reach out and touch it. But you're not on the bubble. You lose tonight, you are squarely on the bubble, and there's an extra amount of pressure that comes with that. There's a weight that comes with knowing you don't have a margin for error. You can't now screw around, play poorly on the road against somebody, and turn around and lose a game. Now you're going to have to find a win against NC State on the road, against Clemson on the road. And if you lose tonight, you would have lost to Clemson at home, and you know how well they've played at their house. It's not good. Your best chance is to go ahead and bounce back after that loss over the weekend in which you played poor on defense. Again, I'm willing to give a little bit of a pass. I wasn't happy. The defensive intensity was so lacking in that game that it was hard to watch. But the fact is, when you find out later on that you got guys that are just simply hurt and they can't get in front of guys, all right, you know, I can't get that angry. I mean, I know that they are hurt. That's a fact. I'm not making that up. They are hurt. I know that. I have found that out. So they're playing through it. I need them to get healthier. And I don't know if they are or not. I don't know what they'll look like tonight. We're all going to find out here in a few hours.
All the same, you know, hurt or not, I was glad that I wasn't watching the second half of that game live. I caught the first half of the game at the hotel.
Just a 24-4 run or 20-4
right,
run.
and it's a 3-point barrage, but we seem to weather it. And walking into Amalie Arena down in Tampa, the ceremony that I was at for the jersey retirement started at 6, so then you have to be in your seats by 6, which means what time do you want to be around the arena? You know, so you're back timing all this stuff. So I basically, long story short, I didn't watch the second half. I did on delay. And I was glad that it wasn't live because I knew the outcome and I knew what I was prepared to see. If I had to experience that in live time, I can understand why the text message I received from you while I was in the first period of watching Lightning Kings on Saturday said a couple of choice words.
Yeah.
You didn't know about the injury yet, or injuries, plural, yet. But I could gather what that second half looked like based upon what your text said, and it would be something that would get us fined here if I repeated it. Anyway, upon watching it on replay, injuries or not, it was hard to watch, and I may have fast-forwarded and jumped a little bit ahead of time.
You really didn't need to watch all of it. You could watch half
of
that
about 4
run.
of those possessions, and you're oh, well, all right.
And we're not coming back from this one. And that was the other thing I think that was alarming, Tom, was that in every other game, now you think back to the game where we played so poor against Boston College up there, coming off the double overtime win against Syracuse, and you had to turn around and play that game on a Monday after going to that lengthy overtime, double overtime with Syracuse on a Saturday. That was easily predictable. You said, we all did. I said, you know, they're going to go lose that game. And I think I said I'd be surprised if it would be close. Well, they're getting trounced, but they do rally all the way back, and they end up losing, I think, by 4. So the point would be that in every game previous where they weren't playing real well, they did fight back. They even fought back on the road against Miami when they had dead legs. Remember that? They got it down to like a possession.
Yeah. Miami started 13 of 14 from the field. And we were chasing, but we ran it down
all the way back.
Angola had the ball with a chance to get it within.
Get it within 1, I think it was. So, the point was, I thought they've come back in every situation except that one. There was no fight, no comeback. There was a lot of going through the motions. Once the run began and it got out to double figures, and it's under the 10-minute mark, they were done. They were not going to find the requisite emotion, strength, energy, fight to come back in that game. And that's the first time that I had seen that this year. And that maybe I had grown so accustomed to seeing them be this other thing that I admired that then I was almost like a disappointed dad. I was just kind of, well, dang, man, you're just not going to bother trying to get
with
up
the
here.
sailor's lexicon, but yes.
Yeah, I was. I was just a disappointed dad. I thought, well, that's not what we do. I mean, part of what's so endearing about you guys is your fight, is your ability to overcome some of the things that you're lacking as a team with your fight and emotion and energy. And if you're not going to give me that, well, I don't think I want to watch this. Yeah, I was just kind of almost offended. You know, they don't have any, duty to me.
Well, I never.
Yeah, I can't believe it. You just didn't even bother to clean your room, son. Oh, was I talking to a ghost out there? So, yeah, it was a little disappointing, but finding out about the injuries and finding out that, frankly, they've been fighting through these for some time. Actually, this has been going on a little while. This was bothering them in the Virginia game. And if you think back to that game, they really fought. Now, they couldn't make shots late in that game, the second half of the second half.
Oh.
They couldn't make shots, but they really fought hard, especially on the defensive end.
Generated some good looks on offense, didn't fall. Yeah.
Things just didn't fall, but this was the first time I was really disappointed. So tonight is a big one. And, it's funny. I feel like once every other week anyhow, we end up having a similar refrain in which I say, doesn't 18-8 just sound great? 18-8 sounds good. 17-9 sounds really disastrous.
Yeah.
17-9 sounds like, I don't know about you guys.
That sounds
18-8 's like, solid club.
17-9 sounds like 3 letters. And that's NIT.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 letters.
17-9 sounds like, if you're looking off in the distance and you see you got the rolling hills and there's a beautiful tree, you're like, what's that peeking out from behind the tree? Is that the trolley? Did Ding Ding just stick his head out behind that tree? That's what I feel like you see there.
You got fat on non-conference season, didn't you?
Ding Ding. Beautiful field, isn't it? So, yeah, like there he is. And I'm like, oh, man, I don't want to see you.
Colorado State doesn't play in the ACC, pal.
Yeah, so that's and Clemson, on your end, if you're listening to the show as you prepare tonight for the game, maybe you like to get a little sports talk in, a little local sports talk when you go city to city. You maybe sit down to eat something. You've had a fine campaign. It's been very impressive. I've largely dismissed your victories, and I have been a fool to do so. And so it is I say to you that the ACC ought to get as many teams in this tournament as possible. It's good for the league. It's good for all of us. It's good for our brand. And I can tell you that when I say 20-5, it doesn't sound any different than 20-4. It really makes no difference. No difference whatsoever. 20-5 sounds like a very impressive season.
Well, sure, and you got Duke this weekend. So
yeah,
you
got to get focused.
Just keep looking at the film for Duke.
That's right, and we're all going to pull for you to beat Duke. We all do. So, why don't you join your football power brethren over here and recognize that we can all help each other out, get into the NCAA tournament in basketball as brothers in arms. You just got to lay down tonight. Why don't you just save your energy? Why don't you come out early on and recognize that this team needs this game more, and you can see it in their eyes. You're not going to be able to overcome the fans. The geriatrics on the one side are going to be noisy, trying to prove their worth to me. I will address that. We got several angry emails. That's good stuff. I have said over the years, you ought not listen to this show and be a literalist. Just kind of hang in there with me. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Enabled our skill? You can listen to us anytime you want. Simply say, Alexa, play ESPN Radio Tallahassee.
Brad Paisley, Weekend Warrior World Tour. Friday, March 9th, Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. With special guests Dustin Lynch and Chase Bryant. Tickets are on sale now. Online at tuckerciviccenter.com. Brad Paisley. Tickets are on sale now.
As utility customers continue to use more energy to offset the recent cold weather, the City of Tallahassee offers you a few tips to help you save energy, water, and money. Sign up today for a free energy audit. After the audit, they'll provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements, and it's all free. Take advantage of the Winter Relief Assistance Program, or WRAP. This alternative payment program allows all residential and non-demand small business utility customers to carry over up to 25% of their utility bill in January and February to the following month's bill. To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
Febreze Car presents When Stinks Interrupt.
Thanks for the ride, sis.
No problem. Good flight?
Yeah, Oh.
Chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets.
Did you stop?
Chicken.
For fast food?
Nuggets.
Not today. Why?
Oh, chicken nuggets.
Pro tip, sis. Pick up Febreze Car, then pick up your brother.
Febreze Car has 2 new ways to drive away embarrassing odors. Now available without heavy perfumes or with extra bold scent.
Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9, happy hour drink specials, and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
The reason I went into consulting? Because I love hunting for paperwork. Not because I like developing plans to help small businesses grow. No, I'm busy searching high and low for a proposal that I had in my hand like a minute ago. Yippee!
Staples wants you to spend your time doing what you really love. That's why we have organizational solutions for any business, so you can clear the clutter and focus on the job at hand.
Ah, here it is. Nope, that's a Chinese takeout menu.
Staples. Less mess equals more success.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Yesterday. I forgot.
You guys were running headlines.
That is correct. So I didn't forget.
Had it all the way.
Today's useless ass Valentine's Day, isn't it? I always forget. Made up non-holiday for people to spend money. Ridiculous. Hopefully you're going to the basketball game. We got a great email on that front. I'll read in a bit. We got several others to boot. Sue is angry. Not Coach Sue, but this other woman named Sue. She writes that she's disappointed that she used to enjoy listening to ESPN. The scores, Tom, the analysis, the local talent. Now she's disappointed, even disgusted. She says that It would be refreshing to find and listen to a radio talk show that has respect for all people and not the disrespectful prater that is taking place on your show. She's no longer a listener of the show, so she didn't get to hear me read this. But she did sign it to FSU Elder Female Alum. So I think she's doubling down. She's pointing out, Jeff, your women-hating, old person-hating ways is just not going to work for me. But I love old people, and women for that matter. And I think it's abundantly clear if you listen on a regular basis.
Must never have heard the old Joe Paterno stuff covering up child abuse. Because those were some whoppers about old people.
We had fun with that, right?
Everybody laughs when it's Joe Paterno, but if it could be construed as me, well,
Yeah, I guess that's it. It's okay. It's her prerogative. I understand. Now this, William gets it. He writes, "Hey, Jeff, Corey, and Ira, I'm one of those sideline geezers you guys don't seem to think should be going to the basketball games and have been for 30 years through some thick but a lot of thin. If you can find some 30-something guy who can't get sideline seats because of me, have him contact me and I'll make him an offer. If all of us graybeards stop going, what do you guys think the Tucker Center would be like with 2,000 students and another 1,000 or so young folks? Just saying." I like him. He, by the way, is a smart man. He works over the Department of Chemistry at FSU.
Oh, there you go.
Doing some things.
All right.
Well, good sir, I was not for the banishment of old people. I just wanted to move you guys around.
Yeah, well, sir, do you engage when it's time to get loud?
He
like
says
the
he
students
does.
do?
I think he does.
Then stay.
Then stay. Please stay.
You're not who we're talking
That's
to.
right.
Or they were talking to.
No, I'm talking to the old people sitting on their hands that I see every week. So here's my really bone of contention. It isn't with the fact that there are a lot of old people at the game. Please, by all means, old, young, man, woman, doesn't matter to me. Come on out to the ball game. It's a fun time for all. No, what I want is repositioning. I want to take the students, the way you see at a lot of places that have intense and overwhelming environs at basketball games, and move them away from where they are currently sitting, which is in a place that they cannot be effective.
Yeah, totally, Jim.
I want to move them somewhere towards midcourt and get them closer to the floor.
Even if it's just half of the court.
Yeah,
right?
just half. Yes,
you guys can all share the other half.
All right, pick a side for the geezers, and you guys can make sandwiches together and kind of bring them in. We'll even make that a possibility for you. You can bring them in, cut them in half, have your napkins ready to go. We're good. Come on over, right? Jump in the machine, make your way over to the TLC Double C, and get your seats. The other side is going to be a bunch of rowdy students, right? I want them on the floor. I want them to have a presence. This is less about sliding the elderly, of which I'll be a member in no time. I'm 46. I mean, I can see it coming down the road. And I'll make fun of myself, by the way, because I'm not overly sensitive about dumb stuff like that.
Can't see it as well as you could about 10 years ago.
That's right. Hence the glasses and all that good stuff. But yeah, but I want the other side there to be a bunch of rowdy students, and I want that to be a sense that there is a home court advantage, and having the students where they sit. Now, the other problem is that I guess I shouldn't have singled out just the old. It's that a lot of the people that have those tickets are the ones that don't go to games, some of which don't even live in Tallahassee. So that's the frustrating part. It's not the guys like William or a woman like Susan. Was it Susan? I think it was
Sue.
Sue.
You called her Sue in the beginning and
it
said,
was
not
Sue.
Coach Sue.
I'm sorry, Sue. It is you. Sue and William. No, it's less about that. I just need, if you're going to the games, yes, all right, go. Just I need you to be placed in a way that isn't front and center. I want, unless you're crazy. Now, maybe I got it all wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe you have the requisite energy I'm talking about.
Maybe Sue's been thrown out of a game or two.
Maybe.
For too much energy.
Over the top, and then by all means, absolutely, wave your finger at me. You should do as much.
You should.
Yes.
Absolutely should.
Absolutely.
Don't you generalize.
No, that's what
you know
I
what
get.
this book's cover is? It's polka dotted. It's crazy.
Tom writes, Bohica, Clemson, for whatever reason. You don't just roll up on into the TLC Double C and expect to walk out with a victory. That's true, Tom. By the way, thanks for scheduling FSU instead of having to waste $100 at the Melting Pot on a meal that sucks. By the way, I like the Melting Pot. I'm gonna tell you that right now, Tom. I gotta call timeout on your email. I like the Melting Pot. I do. I'm a sucker. I'll go spend big money at the Melting Pot.
You will.
I do.
And you'll be geeked up for the 48 hours prior to said meal.
I can't wait to go there.
Guess where I'm going on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You told me yesterday. You told me. You're going to the Melting Pot.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm not going anywhere tonight, but to do my national golf show. But I will tell you, Tom.
West Coast drive time.
That's right. L.A. Gotta. There are two coasts. So, but I do like it. Anyhow, so I had to call timeout on that. But he says, I have permission from the boss lady to have a boys' night out with my son to watch the Clemson ass whipping. Voodoo Dog, Atomic Veggie, plus PBR, and $10 beer night equals heaven. That sounds like fun, Tom.
And some free pub for the All Saints district.
That's true. When my 7-year-old, when I told my 7-year-old that we were going to watch the Clemson game tonight, this is still Tom's email. All he said was, "Good luck with that, Clemson." Laugh out loud. I force him to listen to a lot of Cam in the car. Love the show, boys. That's from Tom. Thank you, Tom. Off the cap to you, sir. And indeed, let's hope that your son is right about it.
Good luck with that, Clemson.
Miss him. I miss that guy.
Good luck with that, Clemson.
Talent, speed, tenacity, toughness, focus.
There's one thing I noticed last week when we were at the ESPN Tallahassee Corner Pocket Executive Suite taking in the Vista.
Beautiful as it is.
And a good first half again, second half not so much, was that, they have the cheerleaders, as we're looking at the court, the cheerleaders are on the opposite side from the students. And those are the guys, with the megaphones, and they can get people, chanting defense and all that kind of stuff.
Right, the directors.
Right. So when the second half comes and we're defending the other side of the court.
You think they should move?
They're in a vacuum.
Yeah.
There is no riling up to be done on that side of the
no
court.
No riling.
They need to move their butts.
Lots of moving going on
to
over
the
at the
other
TLC
side.
Double C, Tom.
Well, damn it,
I'm
man.
coming in and moving some things around.
Who are they
Much to the chagrin.
Who are they going to influence? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now if they get over to that other side when we need a half-court possession on defense.
I agree.
And the megaphone is chanting defense or doing whatever the hell, going, people aren't going to start doing that on the end of the court they're on in the second half. You got to move them.
A lot of
half
shifting.
to half.
A lot of shifting. That's all I'm saying.
They can be there first half, no problem.
You can take it as an affront if you want to, but you need not do so. Just understand we got to shift the way things are.
Switch them with the Golden Girls for the second half.
Switch them.
They're not starting any cheers?
No. FSU leads the all-time series between the two teams, Florida State Clemson. It's 40 games up on the good side of the ledger for Florida State, 31 down. 35-25 since joining the ACC in the fall of 1991 under Leonard Hamilton. FSU has a 19-15 record over the Tigers, including 10-5 at the TLC Double C, by the way. 5-10 on the road. Hence the reason, again, I said, kind of want to win this one here. Get this one here at the house. 4-0 in the ACC tournament, by the way. We've not lost to them in the ACC tournament. When we get there and we get Clemson, we go, get you some.
All those playing games, that's just an automatic win, huh?
03, 07, 2013, and 15. The Noles have won 10 out of the last 13 times they've faced the Tigers, including sweeps in 2013 and again last year in 2017. So, can we keep it rolling? Now, that worries me a little bit. Maybe Clemson will have a bone to pick. Maybe they're a little bit tired of being on the wrong end of these matchups, and they've got a team to do something about it this year. The previous meeting at the TLC Double C came on Super Bowl Sunday in 2017. The Noles absolutely, as you recall, I recall, and we should all cherish the moment, pummeled the Tigers. 23-4 run late in the first half. It was 51-25 Florida State at halftime. We extended that margin in the second half for an historic ass-beating 109-61 behind 41 of 62, 66% shooting effort for Florida State, 17 of 30 from beyond the arc, 56.7%, and an absurd 35-9 in points off of turnovers via 22 Tiger miscues. Woo!
I'll take any one of those numbers.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, the bone to pick could start with Gabe DeVoe, the senior guard for Clemson. These are his last 4 games from beyond the arc.
Good player,
5 of 8, 5 of 8, 5 of 7, 7 of 11. That's 22 of 34.
Stop it, Gabe.
65% from 3.
Cool down.
Cool down. Cool down.
Slow
cool him
your
down.
roll.
How do we cool him down?
Trip and stumble, fall to his legs.
That's right. Or somewhere else.
Clemson finished last season 17-16. They weren't any good at all. They were 6-12 in 12th place in the ACC. They lost in the opening round of the NIT. And we said, well, Clemson's just playing Clemson basketball. That's what they do. And what a turnaround they've had. Impressive indeed. 20-4, 9-3 in the ACC this year, number 4 in the RPI. So opportunity abounds for Florida State tonight. You get this win, you feel real good about your chances of making the NCAA tournament. I hope it's true. And for old people and Sue and anybody else that's routinely offended by this show, I understand it. It's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. I get it. But just know, I'm kidding. It's tongue-in-cheek. I don't hate women and old people. I like making fun of women and old people as well as middle-aged people and children.
Hell, you gave me a nickname, Dickie Lang.
That's right. There it is.
That hurt, but I accepted it because you got to be able to,
You got to roll with the punches. We're having a little fun, a little
Yeah.
self-deprecation. I make fun of my bald head all the time.
I go home and cry after the show.
Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Dr. Delay. Did you know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric? That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a car. A used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit, and at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Hi guys, we're the Sugar and Spice Girls. Do you want your next party to really heat up?
How about having your temperature taken by one of our hot nurses?
Sugar and Spice is Tallahassee's largest and most prestigious adult entertainment company. From one-on-ones to house parties, call Sugar and Spice. We'll always be nice.
524-8927. That's 524-8927.
We're available to come to your location 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on holidays.
View our selection online at ilovesugarandspice.com.
Guys, get to JCPenney and show her some love. Now through Valentine's Day, find gifts she'll love, like select fine and fashion jewelry up to 70% off after an extra 20% off with your JCPenney credit card and coupon. Or for rewards members, get 1/10 carat total weight diamond studs or pendant for just $25 each while supplies last. Hurry in and find the gifts that will make her Valentine's Day. JCPenney. Coupon valid 2/8/2/14. Credit offer subject to credit approval. Sephora excluded from coupon. Other exclusions apply. Offers represent savings on regular original prices while supplies last. Some exclusions apply. See store at jcp.com for details.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Tallahassee Sports Center.
I'm Lee Gordon. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. It's the final stretch for the Florida State men's basketball team tonight. A 7 o'clock tip at home against Clemson. Then on Sunday, they're home again against Pitt. They'll hit the road 2 more times in February, NC State and Clemson, and close things out against Boston College on March the 3rd. Now, Florida State needs wins. They've got to get to that 20 mark if they want to guarantee themselves a trip to the NCAA tournament. And while baseball doesn't start yet, Florida State softball has already begun. The Seminoles have won their first couple of games, and tonight they're at home for the very first time when they take on Florida A&M. Shaun White has apologized for referring to a sexual misconduct lawsuit filed against him in 2006 as gossip during a news conference today. And former Heisman winner Johnny Manziel will participate in the Developmental Spring League this year as part of his attempt to return to the NFL.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Weird story. I will get back to the basketball here in a second. Also a reminder, not tomorrow, but Friday, which is opening day for Florida State baseball, which is awesome. We will have our long-form interview, as we always do, with Mike Martin Jr. He'll join us on Friday's show because that show is only an hour. We do that show for an hour, and then we head over, just like all of the community does, just about, seems like, to enjoy a little baseball, opening day baseball. So a little preview of the season, and then we'll all ride out to Dick Howser Stadium and check out the new scoreboard and enjoy the 850 and everything else that's over there now.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, nice. You got that in right there at the end. Yeah. We also thank Williams Insurance Agency for coming on board and sponsoring that special hour-long program
You're
on
damn
Friday.
right we do.
A Libations Friday indeed, brought to you by also the folks who are
Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Right there with us in the executive
Seven
suite
Hill
over
Tap
there
Room.
at the TLC Double
Both
C.
of them.
Yeah, there
Same
it is.
guy.
Oh, just a lot of love on
Nothing
an opening
but,
day.
Nothing but love. It'll be a good time. I'm wearing my Pirates gear today, my brand new Pirates shirt. You got to always – you don't have your new Mets shirt yet
Not
this
yet.
year? What are we doing? Oh, come on, let's get on. I know you only need it by opening day, but today, pitchers and catchers. So I was honoring.
Usually it's a cap, so maybe I'll get that throwback Mr. Metcalf this year.
Remember, that was the one. That was always the one.
Yeah, because, I mean, I can't beat the old Gary Carter without the nameplate 1987 throwback.
Nicely done. Yeah.
It's a buttonless jersey from the old school days.
You can't, but it's good to have just a run-of-the-mill, this is my season T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
This is my Wednesday night, I'm going to throw on my T-shirt or day of the game T-shirt, you know? Just
that's true.
Special game, special series coming up. Like for you guys, it'd be against the Nats. Seems like the only every time you play the Nats, it's a big damn deal.
Mm-hmm. Man, and that's now that Rich Waltz is out of the rotation in the NL
devastating.
East, right, that means Bob Carpenter is now public enemy number one. That guy is he was already contending with Rich Waltz anyway with the smug. Unbelievable.
I don't think Rich is smug. He's just childlike, which is annoying. It's just sort of,
hey,
Hanley. Yeah, it's annoying.
Here comes Hermie.
Right. Yeah, that's
Hopper's coming in from the bullpen.
Right. That's tough. Right. He does college basketball now, and he does it decidedly better because he's not falling back on that.
Right. Well, he did that too. We were down playing the Orange Bowl Classic, or every once in a while on Raycom, he would be a play-by-play guy. He made it up to Tallahassee a few times.
I've had conversations with Rich Waltz. He's a nice guy. I don't tell him that my cohort makes fun of him at all times.
Well, there was bad blood between him and the Rays crew back in the day, too, because Joe McGrain called him a Keebler elf once on the air.
That'll hurt your feelings.
Because apparently he messed with McGrain's stuff in the booth when they were,
Well, us radio guys and broadcasting guys know you don't mess with people's setup. You don't do it. Everybody's got a rhyme and reason to what they do.
They did the shot from outside the booth, so you could see them talking. And he goes, well, that's what happens when you have to deal with a Keebler elf. And he raised his eyebrows, and Dwayne Stats looked over like, oh, my God, where is this coming from?
Say Rays fans.
Right. Upstairs, 2-1.
Grabs the stick, waves it around. The driver of a Ferrari carrying pro golfer Bill Haas has been killed after crashing and rolling the Ferrari in a Los Angeles Pacific Palisades neighborhood. Police did not identify the driver. Listen to how weird this story is, Tom. Obviously the tournament's out there. Tiger's back this week. It begins tomorrow. Haas has hospitalized, has withdrawn from the tournament, is alive.
Yeah. Serious but stable condition as of this morning.
But a statement from the PGA Tour and Haas's manager said it was a member of a family with whom Haas was staying for the Genesis Open that was killed, which is awful news.
Oh, man.
The Ferrari clipped a Toyota SUV driven by the actor Luke Wilson. Now, I don't know if that was just by happenstance because they're in a ritzy neighborhood where that golf course is, and maybe Luke just lives by there and was on his way home, and Bill Haas and family members whizzed by with a Ferrari, and it got into a tough situation. I have no idea. But it collided with a BMW, as one might figure to see out there, and went off the road and impacted a tree. And anyhow, it's sad, and there's a person that's dead. And so I'm not going to go on with the humor of any of this. Just pictured unassuming Luke Wilson driving home. But that's a weird deal. That's a weird story. I have a bad feeling, just a guess. And again, I'm not casting aspersions upon anybody. I'm got a feeling that they were all hanging out having fun. This sounds like they were racing.
It could be,
doesn't it?
It wasn't in the wee hours. It was at 6:30 p.m. local. That's the only thing where I was looking for the time. Like when did this happen?
Well, and I'm not suggesting. I don't even mean anybody was hopped up on goofballs. I just meant that maybe they were having some fun because you got a Ferrari, and I'm sure Luke's car is pretty nice. I mean, I'm sure that's like a nice Land Rover or something, right? I'm not guessing he's driving. So who knows? I don't know if they're friends or what. I'm just a little worried that we're going to find out they were doing something stupid. It's more about like, oh, really?
Sure.
Something so stupid?
Well, that's the, it's a hockey reference, but Danny Heatley, Dan Snyder accident that happened. They were going 100-plus, in Atlanta, and Dan was the victim of the crash, and Heatley was okay. But you can't imagine, what that trauma is like.
You got no chance. You got no chance.
It goes without saying. I think if Bill was not in serious but stable condition and was fine, I don't know that he'd be playing. That'll shake you up a little bit.
Oh, a little bit, especially since that's a family member. But odd story, professional sport. Thought I should mention it, but that happened, and that tournament gets set to start tomorrow. The bigger storyline, if you're just into the golf, and I'd like to return our attention to that, is that Tiger Woods tees off tomorrow. And I want to ask you, on the eve of the tournament, yay or nay on the cut?
A little worried about this one. I think he'll make it, but he tees off at 9:30, so we'll have a good feeling by the time we get on the air tomorrow whether or not he's playing well enough to make a cut. Because I think you'll get an indication out the gate how refined he is. This is about ball striking, right? Especially off the tee. That's what this is.
Keeping it in play.
Right. Especially, I'm talking about adjustments from the last tournament he played to now. So it's going to be about those accuracy numbers off the tee.
And he's never going to be a guy, just as Phil is not, that keeps it in the fairway as consistent as one would like you to. He's able to score because he's so good in so many other areas and all of that good stuff. So the things he does around the greens and on the green and all of that saves the day, just as it does with guys like Phil. It's just that you can't be 45 yards right of the fairway, as he was several times in the last tournament, which makes it all the more amazing that he made the cut, because he was in places on that golf course that people hadn't seen before. I mean, it was rather stunning.
What I'll be interested to see, too, and this is one of his tournaments, right? So maybe he did it this way. There's a list of about 6 players that tee off at the same time, so I guess they're doing split tees tomorrow. Is Rory in his pairing? I'll have to look that up. But Rory McIlroy is teeing off at the same time, and there's another person who's looking for earlier in his career, albeit and with the ability to get back into the top 3 in the world, whereas Tiger's looking to get into the top half of the world rankings.
Top 300s.
Right, but they're both kind of going through the same type of thing where they're looking for a real surge this year.
I couldn't believe what I saw a week ago when Rory 5-putted. I watched him 5-putt. I've never seen a pro 5-putt. I've not seen it. I've never seen a pro, especially not a good one like him. Some slappy that's barely been hanging on at the end of his career. Maybe you think, the nerves have got to him. A 5-putt, my man.
It takes me back to there was this really important moment where he and Jordan looked to be matching up and setting up for a great run of majors head to head. And we really haven't had that rivalry. We've
never
been
get
searching for it for decades.
Ever. We never get it. We haven't really had it. I mean, you got to go back to Jack's day.
Right.
He and Arnie, and later on, obviously, Watson and others.
But then you get, every once in a while, Tiger Bob May or Y.E. Yang and Tiger, and it
Which
just turns
is
into
cool,
a weekend duel.
Yeah, but it's like, you're like, who gives a hell about Y.E. Yang or
right.
Bob May?
Yeah, the Stenson Phil was great for 2 days.
Incredible.
That delivered, and that's the promise that we hoped we were going to get. VJ gave Tiger a little run in there for a couple of years.
Took over the number one spot in the world at one point.
But it never seemed to be that they were both playing, at the height of their power, save for maybe
VJ
one.
wasn't afraid. Remember when he took to the stage, had a Tiger cap over his driver?
Yeah.
Like, bring it.
Right. Well, at that time, too, the rough was such that he could just bomb it out there, and
that's what
it didn't
did.
matter.
Well, he was a big part of that group that changed the way we look at it now. I was just talking about being wayward off the tee. Tiger is, Phil is, VJ was. These guys that bomb at 1,000,000 miles are really not concerned with your rough.
Yeah.
Because
they're hitting 8, 9, or wedge in.
They don't care.
Yeah. But that Saturday at the Masters, where it's Rory and Jordan are paired together, and you're going, okay.
Yeah.
This is where we're going now. This is where I want to go. And Jordan didn't play all that well. So Rory had every opportunity, and the talk that year was that the putter was coming around. Well, he completely and utterly failed that day. And it seemed like it sent him into a tailspin once again, where he had finally set everything up neatly in a row in order to take number one back from this kid who won 2 majors and was player of the year and was, very close to winning all of the majors. And he failed miserably. And I thought that just sent him spiraling into a place where he felt like the inferior player. And he's looking to come back from that now. So that's what his season is all about, is reasserting himself as the best player in the world, whereas Tiger's trying to make a couple of cuts and maybe scare a first page of a leaderboard here or there.
Well, and he had a chance to be within, I think it was 4 of the lead on a Sunday.
Yeah.
In his last
While driving
outing.
the ball like crap.
So that excites everybody who loves the sport and wants a reason as we now kind of get in earnest into the season. I think a lot of people start to look at now, and they're getting ready to make the move to Florida. That's where you start looking at this as, okay, we're in golf season now.
Yeah.
Let's go. And what all you want is Dustin and Rory and Jason Day, who's won already this year. So it was good to see him come back. He's got that ailing back. You never know with him. Obviously, Rahm and Justin Thomas and all these guys, you want them all playing well so that we have a better chance of seeing the young guns, and then sprinkle in a Phil and sprinkle in a Tiger and sprinkle in one of these other guys that have been around a while and have accomplished something to get them in the mix on a Sunday, and golf's back to where it needs to be, because I think from a rating standpoint, certainly they could use it. Popularity of the sport is not where it needs to be right now, and those are the guys that golf's healthy, and you have great talents all over the place. You just like to see them paired going head-to-head on a weekend. They have had nothing but playoffs. So, I mean, it's been riveting.
Well, yeah.
So far this year.
And it's compelling to watch the human interest of somebody who's trying to climb back. I mean, look at Shaun White last night. That final run when he's down.
Yeah.
And he's got to score over, 95, 96, whatever it is, in order to win gold. I mean, my heart's racing, and I don't give a damn about snowboarding. But in that moment,
How much of the Olympics have you watched on a whole? It's
I've been
early
sick
yet.
a lot more than I would have.
Yeah, so you've been sick watching it. I listen, I've said this before. We talked about it yesterday on Headlines when we weren't ripping old people and women. I said that basically I love the Winter Olympics more than I do the Summer Olympics because I'm familiar with the sports of the Summer Olympics, and that's a reason that a lot of people like the Summer Olympics, because they've competed or attempted to do and compete in these sports that, whether it's track and field, whatever it might be, swimming. But when I watch the Winter Olympics, everything's foreign. I mean, I largely grew up in Florida. You just didn't do any of these things. And so when I'm watching speed skating or the downhill or the luge or the bobsled or whatever it might be, I mean, other than figure skating, which I just still can't watch, I like almost all of it because it's almost bizarre to me.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated more than anything else. Like, what? How would one get into that sport? And how difficult would that be? And, one thing is very clear to somebody. Here, I'll make fun of myself. I'm old, 46 compared to you're, 30?
31.
31. Oh, yeah, I forgot another year went by.
know.
Ooh, boy,
It did.
happened so quick. So, anyhow, here's what I'll tell you is that I've noted, the shift in watching the Olympics over the years, the Winter Olympics in particular, but I think it's applicable to the Summer Olympics too, is that the things formerly known as X Games or X Sports, if you will, are now just part of the Olympics. They're no longer sports played by outsiders. They are part of the Olympics. So the stuff you're talking about with Shaun White and the men, the women, you name it, I love watching all of that because, well, it's death-defying.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of what they're doing, you can see the peril. You're watching it before your eyes. Speed skating, you can see, well, you could get slashed. You could cut you could break a leg or something, but you don't think that their lives are in danger. That's what's so intriguing about the bobsled and the luge, right? Like, you could die.
Yeah.
But the stuff that you're talking about in the half pipe and all that other stuff, that's amazing to me.
Those sons of guns.
I can't
They're
believe
high flyers.
They are, and they're probably high. But it's amazing.
Well, they all put in the music. You know that, too. They have the earbuds
It's
in.
amazing.
Yeah,
and they just go, and they go to this other place, and they're in another world, and they go. It's absolutely, and I am intrigued. I do watch it. I used to be a little bit of get off my lawn guy with the X Games. And I have made fun of the X Games. I can't watch the guys on the BMX and the kids stuff. I watch a few minutes of that, and I go, that's wonderful.
You're like on a snowmobile and you're doing flips and stuff.
I can watch a few minutes.
It's Evel Knievel.
But the snowboard stuff, that's amazing to me. And I don't like.
That's a natural progression from the downhill too.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you don't have to take that big of a leap to go from watching somebody go downhill slalom or whatever it is.
Yeah, I've also never been bored by, and always have been fascinated by, any of the jumping, any of the ski jumping. I love. It's crazy. I've loved that since Wide World of Sports. Watching the guy wipe out, and just when you see that, when they give you the shot from above, and you realize just how high in the air they go, forget
like
about
flying
it.
squirrels.
It's nuts. I'm not doing it. They do look like it.
No, I've watched quite a bit. What I would have watched anyway to file it in that category instead of being bedridden. The mixed doubles curling has been really fun to watch, and that's all over and done with. And I actually don't know who won yet. I have the gold medal match still to watch. I've been able to insulate.
On demand, thanks to Xfinity, Tom.
That is correct. Actually, in the sports tab of the Xfinity app.
That's true.
On your TV, you just hit the C button, and it's all right there.
You know who I'm tired of already?
Who's that?
Lindsey Vonn.
Oh, really?
Oh, good Lord.
I must
Seems
have
like she's been competing in the Olympics for 50 years.
Oh, that's true. I thought you meant the coverage window. I really had not seen a whole lot of her yet.
Yeah.
But the curling, the mixed doubles, we were terrible at it. The U.S. team was terrible. The Super Mario guy, and I guess that's his wife. They have the same last name.
Super Mario
guy. Man, that was like an internet sensation because he had the red cap on with the white circle and he had the mustache. They were just awful, and they were poor communicators, and it was a fun study where I'm sitting with my girlfriend, and we're talking about male-to-female communication and the breakdowns.
And it would be very important to have figured out the complications involved in that.
Right.
It's like you figure that out before you marry the woman, right? You got to figure that out.
Yep.
On both sides of it. She's got to figure it out with you too. But you got to figure that out before you go compete in the Olympics.
Because that dude panics at the penultimate rock every single time. He starts talking faster, and he's got weird ideas.
Slow your roll with all this.
Oh,
I got this.
But it's compelling to watch these two people bicker.
I love, because I've spent a lifetime making fun of this, because I think people take it to the nth degree and it lessens the value when it does exist. And I'm talking about patriotism. I love the Olympics for checking your inner American, if you will.
Yeah.
It's the only event where I am as jingoistic as the next guy, right? I watch it, and I'm like, well, we only have 7 golds. This is ridiculous. Screw Germany. Let's get it together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say in your mind, like, hateful things.
Right.
That World War II's been over a very long time,
Right.
Tom. And I'm like, you can't let these Nazis. And I'm like, man, what the hell are you talking about? It's ridiculous. But I do it. I'm guilty.
You know why they love ice sports?
It's
the color.
It's crazy that I do that. Now, the Netherlands are kicking ass, and I was born in Holland, so I'm like, once again, though, you talk about
you don't exactly.
I'm like, how about the Netherlands?
Yeah. You don't mess with them on
Yeah.
speed skating, just like you don't mess with the Germans when you're trying to get in a bobsled or a luge. Good Lord.
And then I've adopted the Canadians because we're in the same continent. So I'm like, all right, good on you,
Just
Canadians.
friendly people.
Yeah, good, fine folk right there. Never bothered nobody. Go get them, Canadians. Yeah, Norway folks.
Yeah. No, the snowboard. I'm like, so Japan has found its way
Yeah.
into this discussion.
Let's put it into this.
Look at these guys.
Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a car. A used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit, and at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Did you know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric? That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Febreze Car presents When Stinks Interrupt.
Thanks for the ride, sis.
No problem. Good flight?
Yeah, Oh.
Chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets.
Did you stop?
Chicken.
For fast food?
Nuggets.
Not today. Why?
Oh, chicken nuggets.
Pro tip, sis. Pick up Febreze Car, then pick up your brother.
Febreze Car has 2 new ways to drive away embarrassing odors. Now available without heavy perfumes or with extra bold scent.
Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Tallahassee Sports Center.
I'm Lee Gordon. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. It's the final stretch for the Florida State men's basketball team tonight. A 7 o'clock tip at home against Clemson. Then on Sunday, they're home again against Pitt. They'll hit the road 2 more times in February, NC State and Clemson, and close things out against Boston College on March the 3rd. Now, Florida State needs wins. They've got to get to that 20 mark if they want to guarantee themselves a trip to the NCAA tournament. And while baseball doesn't start yet, Florida State softball has already begun. The Seminoles Vols have won their first couple of games, and tonight they're at home for the very first time when they take on Florida A&M. Sean White has apologized for referring to a sexual misconduct lawsuit filed against him in 2006 as gossip during a news conference today. And former Heisman winner Johnny Manziel will participate in the Developmental Spring League this year as part of his attempt to return to the NFL.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. You're not kidding, Tom. I'm looking at some of the statistics for Clemson's starting 5, whom Florida State will be taking on tonight in a few hours. TLC, Double C, big matchup tonight. Florida State with a win in a position to just about punch the ticket to the NCAA dance. And again, to reiterate, that's the goal this year, and really, in my mind, now you may have some other goal, that's fine. But in my mind, it was just get back to the dance. Now, I don't like losing, so once they're there, I'm going to want them to win the national championship. Ooh. But that said, the expectation isn't that that'll occur. But get back. Get back because, again, next year they get this team back. They're going to be even better next year. MJ Walker has been a huge addition to this team. Imagine how good he's going to be next year. All of the signs point to that. Kabengele is going to be very, very good before it's all said and done. The pieces are in place for this team to be very good, but you don't want the hiccup. So get back this year, sustain the momentum gained last year, and you're in a good place. Program's in a healthy place. And selfishly, as we continue to debate the Leonard Hamilton question off and on over the years, as somebody who thinks that he has, given the circumstances, by and large, done a good job, I would like to see him have this place, in a really good position on his way out the door. Leonard Hamilton, whether or not you wanted him fired 7 years ago this very minute, or you love him and wishes, that he could coach in perpetuity, the bottom line is he's almost 70 years old. He is not going to be here much longer. That we know, just period. He's just not. And I don't mean on this earth. I just mean on the sidelines, okay? So at some point he'll call it a day, and I don't know when that'll be, but I would guess in a couple, 2-3 years. I would love to see this thing humming. Get on your way out, hey, did the best I could, had some great years, had some bad years, and a few in between. Best of luck to you all. And then, we could debate the legacy if you want to at a different date. But the point would be, get it moving in the right direction. Because I think at the end of the day, one thing we can agree on, whether we agree or disagree about Leonard, is Florida State, we would love to see it. And this is at the root of the discussion. We would love to see this place become better and more consistent than it currently is in basketball, and have it be a place that is recognized as such in the Power 5 conferences, that Florida State's a good basketball school. Not that they're a football school first and foremost, but they have a good basketball program. I'd like that to be the prevailing thought about Florida State basketball. It certainly is not currently. I mean, I'm not so naive, even when I'm championing, Leonard Hamilton and his staff, to think that if you go anywhere else in the country and talk to them about good basketball programs at the ACC, that Florida State's name would get mentioned, even if there are some numbers that would surprise them. There are some statistics in terms of winning in the conference that would really wow them. But because we have been wildly inconsistent, we've been good and then really bad and then good again and then bad and then good. And, and when we go through the bad, we go through the bad. And when we're good, we're pretty good. We finish in the upper echelon of the ACC, which at a place like Florida State is really good. I would like to find a level of consistency that it's just kind of a surprise when they don't make the tournament. Currently, it's a surprise when they do. That's a fair discussion. That's a fair talking point. when Florida State won 26 games last year and didn't lose at home and played as well as they did against the likes of a Louisville or a Duke or whomever you want to point to, the talking point every night for ESPN was, how about this Florida State team? Just how good is this team? I mean, they're surprising everybody. I'd like it to be Florida State, solid program, looks like they're on their way back to the tournament again this year. That's the kind of talking point I'd like it to get to before Leonard Hamilton leaves. And the only way you do that is sustain, again, success rates. Last year, over-the-top success in terms of the regular season. Disappointing into the season in the tournament. Now you see what the Xavier team is, though. They're really good. I mean, they're ranked in the top 10.
Buddy, when we're sitting next to each other and I saw that coach's expression on the sidelines, I vocalized my concerns.
Well, he's a very good coach, and he's thought of as such, and they're a really good program. And, oh, by the way, they care deeply about basketball, and they don't have anything else. That's what they invest in.
Well, and he knew what the hell was about to happen.
Yeah, he had a good team. Well, he also, by the way, they knocked off Arizona, so it's not like he didn't know it. He knew it against other big-time programs. Certainly he wasn't worried about us.
No, he was not.
So the point is, if we get to that place, I'll feel very good about his time at Florida State and his exit and all of that. And, again, I understand it gets vitriolic when we get into this discussion. I hate that everything is, and Corey brought this up, and I've brought this up before too, football and everything else. It's kind of brought on, I think, by social media. Whenever we get into debates about individuals in a sport, pro, college, or otherwise, coaches, if we get into a discussion about somebody's legacy, everything is a referendum. A season, a play, a moment, a game, everything is a referendum on the entirety of their career, whether or not they should have a job. I mean, everything becomes a referendum, and it's unhealthy. It's not a good launching point for a rational conversation about something that is or is not. Defining our terms has become much more difficult in having these discussions because everybody is quick to reach for the extremes.
Yeah, I agree. If you look at social media, mostly it's people talking at one another and not with one another.
Well, you can't with 100 and whatever characters, right?
They got it up to 280, but even still, it's not about...
There's no nuanced discussion in 280.
It's not about advancing discourse. It's about, my point is right, and here's why.
And I'll yell at you.
And you're a dumbass if you don't agree with it.
Right. Well, and that's had an effect on the larger talking points in sport and politics and otherwise. We know that, right? We just know how polarizing these things are. If you don't, just go sit down somewhere and start talking politics or start talking about sports figures in a way that is demonstrative, and you're going to start a fight. You're going to get into an argument, and you're not going to have a real rational discussion, or at least not with everybody that you encounter. And that's it sucks because I think there's plenty of room for that, and I think most people would like to do that. Now, back to the present. Tonight's game is a big deal and could be a referendum on the season, in fact, because if you lose it, you're in deep trouble. I think you did play squarely on the bubble, and I would begin to say I don't like your chances. The mashing of the red button, Tom.
Would you actually hit the red button after a
yes,
loss tonight should it happen?
Tonight I'll hit – well, it's a 3-game losing streak if it happens tonight, and your best players haven't played well, and you just lost at home. This isn't Duke. It's not North Carolina. It's Clemson. I know they've had a great year. This would be bad, and it's not a bad loss because Clemson's good. It'd be bad just in terms of the outlook of your season. You've got real problems now because it would be a trend. You'd be trending in the wrong direction, and we do normally play really well at home, so you'd have to factor that in. And it would be an indicator because I think if we lose tonight, it's an indicator probably the way it plays out is because, once again, you're not getting the kind of performance from Angola or Man that you're accustomed to getting. Like, I think if they have a normal game, if they play to the back of their baseball card, if you will, and they play that way, Florida State's going to win tonight. But if they continue to struggle and they show the signs of the wear and tear and the injury to the ankle, I don't know how you can then feel good about them going on the road and getting a big win somewhere. You know, I would say that they're in real trouble at that point.
Well, yeah, I would look at it as if clearly the struggles continue, the lack of instinct is there, both offensively and defensively from those key players. Then I could argue, all right, win on Sunday, get healthy, and let's go get one of these, either at Clemson or at NC State.
And it would be doable. It'd be doable. I would not. Okay, so I would mash the panic button, but I think you have to look at what that is. You have to look at that. I mean, first of all, it's just a funny little thing we do on the radio, but When I say I press the panic button, it's the feeling you have about what's happening to your season.
Okay, yeah.
And in that sense, I think bam, 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 we're all going to be hitting it, because hitting it doesn't necessarily mean you're saying there's no chance. Hitting it means I'm beginning to get concerned that we're playing our way out of the tournament, and that is absolutely reason to pound the red button if you lose again tonight, because that's 3 straight, Tom. Then you've lost 3 straight, and your best players aren't playing well, and what reason do I have to believe that we're going to curb this negative momentum?
Yeah, I fully understand that. Now, I think if you return the favor, this weekend, not that we played Pitt before, but let's say you answer a loss tonight, and then you beat Pitt on Sunday evening, then you're back in a position of desperation, but you're not hopeless. You know what I mean? Like, I think on Monday we might be, if we lose tonight, we win on Sunday saying, all right, I don't like our chances, but it ain't over yet. Let's go steal one this week.
Yeah,
it's steal one this week.
You and I will get together and go watch it at a bar and take the day off or something the next day, because I'm going to be nervous.
Or do we might actually have the week off next week. That might be our bye, and then we play NC State on Saturday. I think that is.
Well, then we need it, because I'll tell you what, they got to get right.
I should just have that handy. What the hell am I doing?
Yeah, at all times, Tom. Break it out of that front coat pocket when we need it.
Excuse me.
Yeah, hold on a second,
I have
Jim.
a schedule
I can
here.
answer this damn question. What are we doing here? Currently, bracketology, right? Where's Lenardi got us? You should have that handy at all times too.
Looking up the schedule.
You don't have the bracketology handy right now while we're in the middle of doing the show.
No,
I thought by now you'd have that ready to roll.
No, it is in fact true. So after this Sunday, you get a full week off. We play Sunday at 6 with Pitt here at the TLC CCC. Then we're on the road in Raleigh the following Sunday for a 6 p.m. tip against NC State. Then you follow that Wednesday on the 28th of February with Clemson on the road, 7 p.m. tip, and then a Saturday matinee, March 3rd, against BC to round out the season.
Tonight at Cameron Indoor, Virginia Tech, who's playing so well right now. Were you aware that Virginia Tech, since losing to us, has just rattled off a bunch of wins and has now amassed a record of 18-7, 7-5 in the ACC? What are we doing here? All of a sudden, you can count that road win against Virginia Tech as a hell of an accomplishment for Florida State, right?
Joey Brackus has us as a 9 right now. We're on the 9 seed line. We'd be playing Kentucky in this fictional bracket.
Who's had a tough year.
And we'd be paired with Xavier, top-seeded Xavier.
A short stay in the tournament, Tom. Short stay in the tournament, but again, it's all gravy once you're dancing. It's all gravy once you're dancing.
Now
for me this year, that's not always the case.
That's as of February 12th. Okay, so we're at
Valentine's
Valentine's Day.
At Valentine's Day, the 14th, Tom. Let's get it together.
So Joe Lenardi needs to get it. Well, this is the most updated version of his bracketology.
Let's do it, Mr. Brackets.
That's all you do. Come on.
That's all you do. NC State-Syracuse is a big game tonight for both those teams. That is a 9 o'clock tip on the ACC Network. I mention it because NC State's 16-9, 6-6 in the ACC. Syracuse is 17-8, 6-6 in the ACC. So they're kind of looking at the bubble like we're looking at the bubble, right? A lot of that going on. Games you won't be watching tonight, and you would ask to be paid if you had to. Georgia Tech and Wake Forest going at it tonight in the ACC. A couple of sub-500 clubs participating in this basketball game tonight. Virginia Tech-Duke is intriguing. I think Virginia Tech will go on the road and play well tonight. That game will be close late. Duke has no real interest in defending anybody.
And Bagley's not playing.
See, that's a problem.
Yeah.
They have no real interest in defending anybody at this juncture of the season. Yet I say that, and this tells you how many good players they have every year. Is that Duke doesn't look like Duke. When they're at their best, they look like maybe the most skilled and talented team in the country. But they're not always at their best because they're young and they don't defend. And then all of a sudden you go, well, what's really been wrong with Duke? Let's take a look at them. Oh, yeah, they're 20-5. It's just and they've played a good schedule. So you go, well, their worst is always going to be amongst the best of the best. It's just that's a beautiful fallback. You don't even have to play well, and you're in that situation.
Yeah,
because you've got good players, really good players.
Bagley's out. They're on the road at Georgia Tech for a Sunday night game, and the number's 9.5. And I'm looking at it, I'm going, well, that's a sucker's line, man. It's Duke all the way because they have so many options. Somebody else is going to have the opportunity, and they're going to flourish in this opportunity. And Duke covered. There it was. That's how good they are.
What I like about that insight that you just posited there, Tom, is I'm sure you were just looking at that game from a basketball standpoint.
Correct.
You just thought the matchup says this is an easy win. There was no sort of sporting guy or gal angle here. The fact that here on the Jeff Cameron Show at 4:17 on the 14th of February, you just broke out what the line was in the Duke-Georgia Tech game.
Yeah.
Purely research-oriented.
Purely research-oriented, but it also speaks to the greater point that, so you're a 10-point dog at home at Georgia Tech, and I don't think you have a prayer. I don't think you have a prayer to cover. Not win. Forget winning. You don't have a prayer to cover, even though the best player in next year's NBA draft is not going to be available.
Were you aware of the Florida State line against Notre Dame?
Yeah, we were 2.5-point favorite. Is that
right?
No,
we were getting points.
We were?
Yeah, we were.
No,
yeah.
I wasn't aware of the Florida State Notre Dame line. Sorry.
We were getting 2.5.
I didn't want any part of it.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't know it.
I broke a rule.
No.
I took us. Oh. Yeah, I broke a rule. And I paid dearly for breaking my own rule.
You condemned us to hell.
Maybe. I did take us getting the points on the money line because I thought we were just going to win the game.
Mm-hmm. I was worried about that one.
That's
a house of horrors up there.
It is. It's for whatever reason. Yeah, we struggle. But you know who won't struggle tonight?
Pretty boys hitting him from 30 feet in the first half.
Big Daddy J's not going to struggle tonight. We got a slate, right? Let's get it on. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Tools. Bring in your old Milwaukee tool and Cornerstone will get you a brand new one. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. Big store pricing with local service. 1110 Stuckey Avenue and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
Guys, get to JCPenney and show her some love. Now through Valentine's Day, find gifts she'll love like select fine and fashion jewelry up to 70% off after an extra 20% off with your JCPenney credit card and coupon. Or for rewards members, get 1/10 carat total weight diamond studs or pendant for just $25 each while supplies last. Hurry in and find the gifts that will make her Valentine's Day. JCPenney. Coupon valid 2/8/2/14. Credit offer subject to credit approval. Sephora excluded from coupon. Other exclusions apply. Offers represent savings at regular original prices while supplies last. Some exclusions apply. See store jcp.com for details.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. we do with quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. No one besides us wants to hear that you need a new roof. It's one of the biggest home improvements you have to make, and Parker Brothers Roofing understands. We now offer financing for 0% over 60 months. Yes, that's 5 years. Call us today for 5 years interest-free financing on that new roof. 656-8112. That's 656-8112, or go to parkerbrothersroofing.net.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Join 97.9 ESPN Radio for our FSU Baseball Opening Day Special, Friday, February 16th from 3 until 4, taking you right to the first pitch. This special broadcast is brought to you by Williams Insurance Agency. If you don't know insurance, know your agent.
Get to JCPenney's President's Day sale and save up to 40% off select major appliance hot deals from brands like GE, Samsung, LG, and Frigidaire. Plus, get up to 30-month special financing on appliance purchases made through February 28th, plus free delivery and basic installation. Hurry in, these deals end soon. JCPenney. GE, Profile, GE, Cafe, and higher, limited to 10% off savings. Available in select stores. Some terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Finance and terms valid 2/8/2/28. You must request a time of purchase subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. Free delivery and basic installation on appliance purchases over $299 and not available in all areas. See store associate or jcp.com/appliances for details.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Methuselah-Egdon is imminent. Wheelchairs of fire are coming to rain down on your program after your derogatory depiction of FSU basketball's aging crowd. We are at this moment recruiting a group of still ambulatory attendees who are encouraging a boycott of your program until you relinquish this disgusting depiction of our decrepit fans. Our name is Octopolis, and we will engender fear in all young whippersnappers who fail to honor their elders. Sit down, we can't see is our mantra, and our limited attendance is only slightly more vocal than the vacant seat behind us, yet we sit and draw our breaths in solemn countenance. Corey, we have kept the rabid-caged squirrel for weeks, waiting for the opportune time to release it with its bloodshot eyes and protruding fangs, and the hope that it may, while slowly crawling up your leg, find your nether region. Ira, although you may be the lesser evil of the trio, we have encouraged a group of agile knitting fans to attack without provocation, using their implements of destruction as a message. Don't mess with us. Beware Wednesday night when Clemson comes to the Donald L. Tucker Center, as we will be out in full force, sparsed within the crowd. And, oh, yeah, sit down, I can't see. P.S., Jeff, just had to upgrade to an iPhone 8, spent $1,200. See, we're really not that different except for a few years of experience. See you on the golf course, boys. John. Well written.
Get after it, John.
I am pleased. That is a solid email indeed. And a good sign that somebody gets it and doesn't take things too seriously. As far as...
I'm sure he's got graham crackers in his pantry, too.
Well, one should.
Yeah, one always should.
One should.
Graham
crackers are freaking delicious.
I could always count on my aunts, uncles, my grandparents while they were still on this earth to always have a fresh pack of honey-made graham crackers.
By the way, graham crackers are a bit like bowling. Mm-hmm. Another one of those things that you forget about. Then you do it or see it, in that case, eat it, and you go, yeah,
and I
love you, graham crackers.
I'm not OCD at all, but I am when I have graham crackers because they have the perforated lines.
Oh, they're perfect.
And you try and break them. You got to try and break them right on the line.
It's actually really disappointing when you screw it up.
Yeah.
You got to eat them real quick.
You're right. That's got a little jagged edge.
Oh, I can't abide by that.
No,
can't do it. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I know, man. I'm the same way. And my wife will occasionally buy graham crackers because she's making a pie or something for the kids.
What a treat.
And then I'll see them in there and she'll go, don't. Because like Pringles, you can't have just one.
Yeah.
You're going to have another one.
That's like me and the Wise butter popcorn. You ever get that? The yellow
you have
bag?
A thing about that and pretzels, and I don't have it. I don't ever.
Well,
I don't
super
share.
pretzels, yeah. I mean, if you get like pretzel rods or pretzel sticks, whatever. If I'm in the mood, sure. But if you have a bag of that Wise butter popcorn, I can't stop. So I don't open it.
You're like a goldfish that will eat itself to death. If you just keep sprinkling food, they don't stop eating until they die.
That butter? Yeah, that
It's
whatever
you-
crack that
you're
is.
like,
I'm like, yeah, I love crack.
That's some people with Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
They just can't help it. I've had 15 of these nuggets. I could eat 15 more.
It's the largest grossing domestic fast food company, and they're not open one day of the week.
I used to tell you that I was always suspect of whatever heroin they were putting in the chicken, because in the mornings, if you go past a Chick-fil-A, people are lined up to a point where they're endangering their fellow citizens because they come out of the parking lot and onto Capitol Circle.
Yeah.
25 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
They're willing to wait 40 minutes for a drive-thru.
It's ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I used to say, well, what is it? And then I figured out what it was. Sugar. The overall stats would conclude that Clemson is winning games because they shoot well, knocking down 46% from the field, 38%, just above 38% from beyond the arc, and an uncharacteristic 75% from the free throw line. That's good news. The starting guards, you mentioned DeVoe, Mitchell, and Reed leading the way.
Friggin' DeVoe. That's going to be the one we got to pay attention to.
Freaking DeVoe. And only Elijah Thomas is limited to scoring in the paint. So they knock down shots. In ACC play, they shoot 43%. Their three-point shooting percentage in conference play is better than that on the season, 39%. They actually shoot better free throw on the free throw line in conference play than they do on the season as a whole as well, 78%. Not much better, but they have they've had a negative rebounding margin. So if our guys can jump and get after it tonight the way they have in the past, going to have to do it on the boards. They'll have to obviously guard that three-point line. But, when we do that, we tend to overextend and give up a lot of layups there.
Yes.
And it's very frustrating. They're averaging, Clemson is, 9.2 made threes per game in ACC play. Their guards are, you can take them out of their comfort zone by doing that. But if they get the opportunity to do the blow-by, which we see all the time, it's very frustrating. We have struggled to protect the rim.
Once again, with DeVoe, he's been mad consistent and red hot from beyond the arc his last 4 ACC games. 5 of 8, 5 of 8, 5 of 7, 7 of 11, 22 of 34 in total. 65% from beyond the arc. Need to pay attention to him.
Got to stop doing that, dude.
No need for the kickouts to DeVoe tonight.
Other ACC games I mentioned to you, if you're looking at the conference as a whole, just a friendly reminder as you get set to tailgate, no doubt. You're all tailgating tonight over the TLC Double C, where you do not just roll on in and expect to walk out with a victory. Virginia in first. Clemson, tonight's opponent, in second place by their lonesome in the ACC at 9-3, the number 4 ranked RPI team in the country. And again, 20-4 on the season. Duke is behind them at 8-4, and then a whole bunch of 5-loss teams. Well, I should say a few 5-loss teams. North Carolina, Louisville, and Virginia Tech all have 5 losses in the conference, but different win totals. 9 wins for North Carolina, 8 wins for Louisville, 7 wins for Virginia Tech. Miami is 7-6. They lost last night to Virginia, and another snore fest. Good Lord. Miami had 16 points at halftime last night against Virginia, Tom.
That is pleasurable to hear, though.
I like that they scored 16 points and that they lost,
points.
but Virginia, man, you make it really hard to root for that team at a conference against anybody, anywhere, or at any point, period. It's just the worst. It's just so hard to watch. And if you're Virginia, you say, well, screw you, we beat you, Jeff, and oh, by the way, we're in first place, and I don't care what. Yeah, that's fine, man. Go ahead and play a close game against every single team you face. You'll get knocked out early in the tournament.
If you're looking quickly just at Clemson in general and their schedule and what they've done the last couple of weeks and what they have coming ahead the next couple of weeks, I can see where this team right now at 9-3 could finish 12-6, maybe even 11-7 in conference. And I know that that's crazy because they're the number 4 team in the RPI. But they got to play us twice, and we're good. Like I don't care that we're on a losing streak right now. We know that we can play with the best in this conference. The results say so. So they got to play us twice. Let's say that we earn a split with them. They play Duke this weekend. Then they play Virginia Tech and Syracuse. Their only surefire win is a home game with Georgia Tech between now and the end of the season. This stretch of 6 games for Clemson is huge in defining whether or not they actually are
what their record
head
says
and
they
shoulders
are currently,
in Tier 2 ACC, or if they're closer to the team that Vegas believes they are tonight, which is, more than a possession dog here in Tallahassee.
Well, and again, Vegas is pointing to a Florida State team that, A, plays well at home, and B, I think, frankly, they're looking at this team as if they're healthy. You don't have that spread the way that it is if you think that your two best players are hurt. So, or in that case, Florida State's two best players are hurt. So that's everything tonight, man. If they're healthy and they're energized and they're playing with the same sort of intensity and effort that we normally see from them, and they're able to finish around the basket and get some lift on their shots from the perimeter, in the case of Angola especially, then okay, I'll feel good about Florida State's chances to win this game, and it would be a huge step towards making the NCAA tournament. If they don't, then we've got problems, and we're sliding at the worst possible time, and we'll amass a bunch of frustrating stats that lead to a loss, and we'll have this conversation again tomorrow, and people be cliff jumping as they usually do, but I may be close to grabbing a hand and joining them if at that point we've lost 3 straight.
The old Thelma and Louise move.
Yeah, man. Over the cliff we go. Donna writes, I've got white hair and agree with your basketball take. I hate seeing all those vacant seats behind the visiting bench and seeing people sitting around like unexcited blobs. Your idea to play students – I've never seen an excited blob. Your idea to play students on the sidelines is good.
Wait, what was that 1970s cartoon with the 2 blobs? Like,
well, Shmoo was a show that was great. Do you remember Shmoo?
I don't remember Shmoo.
Shmoo was hilarious.
But there were these 2 excited blobs. They were just blobs with eyeballs, like black eyeballs.
That's what Shmoo was.
And it was like this family. They were fighting dinosaurs, and they had red hair, and
That's
the guy
awesome.
was super jacked.
Yeah,
it's from the 70s. It's probably a Hanna-Barbera thing. I'll have to look it up.
Which, no doubt, if it was from the 70s, includes wildly inappropriate material.
They were called like Bleaks or something like that, but they were excited blobs.
All of the cartoons from back then are unbelievably racist and ridiculous. They're all like, if you watch cartoons from the 60s and 70s, you go, "Oh my god!"
Oh well, yeah, some of the Tom and Jerry stuff,
right?
What
are we doing here? This is insane.
Yeah, like the Zoot Suit, Tom and Jerry episodes.
It's always interesting. Your idea to play students on the sidelines is good. We need the excitement, cheering, noise, and rowdiness of students. We have a similar problem at baseball with too many vacant seats held by season ticket holders who never attend the games. A few who are there to read books. Incredible. Hope you can fix those problems. I'm a 75-year-old alum with white hair, and I've listened to your morning show since your morning show days. That's from Donna. Love you, Donna.
It'd be awesome if she called it the morning show because she sleeps in. You're my morning show, honey.
Donna's awesome. Good on you, Donna. You get it. It's tongue-in-cheek. It's great. You old gal. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Milwaukee selection in the area. Big store pricing with local service. 1110 Stuckey Avenue and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit, and at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much. Way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mayhem Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Spirit Realty Incorporated Tallahassee salutes the men and women in uniform who are standing tall for our freedom. Let's remember them by continuing to donate blood for our returning injured military. Not everyone is eligible to give blood, so it's important that those who are, do. Be a silent hero and give blood today. It could save the life of a soldier. This reminder is from Spirit Realty Incorporated, Tallahassee. Remember, we live in the land of the free, thanks to the brave.
As utility customers continue to use more energy to offset the recent cold weather, the City of Tallahassee offers you a few tips to help you save energy, water, and money. Sign up today for a free energy audit. After the audit, they'll provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements, and it's all free. Take advantage of the Winter Relief Assistance Program, or WRAP. This alternative payment program allows all residential and non-demand small business utility customers to carry over up to 25% of their utility bill in January and February to the following month's bill. To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
Might I suggest the chicken taco salad from Banditos Burritos, my friend?
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Tallahassee Sports Center.
I'm Lee Gordon. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. It's the final stretch for the Florida State men's basketball team tonight. A 7 o'clock tip at home against Clemson. Then on Sunday, they're home again against Pitt. They'll hit the road 2 more times in February, NC State and Clemson, and close things out against Boston College on March the 3rd. Now, Florida State needs wins. They've got to get to that 20 mark if they want to guarantee themselves a trip to the NCAA tournament. And while baseball doesn't start yet, Florida State softball has already begun. The Seminoles have won their first couple of games, and tonight they're at home for the very first time when they take on Florida A&M. Shaun White has apologized for referring to a sexual misconduct lawsuit filed against him in 2006 as gossip during a news conference today. And former Heisman winner Johnny Manziel will participate in the Developmental Spring League this year as part of his attempt to return to the NFL.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Tom and I successfully tracked it down. It was on the show The Herculoids. And this is what that conversation sounds like between a Herculoid character who looks just like He-Man and, what is this, Bleak and Bloop, or what are the hell these guys?
Gloop and Gleep. And
Gleep.
There's a little action leading up to this little clip. So forgive me if it's not, cut perfectly.
These are blobs that are indeed rowdy.
What is it, Leap? Leap says that the aliens who landed are attacking Dorno and Tundro.
That's what I heard. I always liked that, too. It's just that all of those characters sounded alike. Not the Gloop and Gleep, but the people that in the early stages of He-Man characters. What is it, Gleep? Gleep says. It's just always like that. It's great.
Gleep says the keys to a balanced and nutritional diet include red meat and lots of it.
I love it. Hey, so on a day in which pitchers and catchers report and Major League Baseball is back amongst us where we get daily news, am I the only person that feels like Aaron Boone's run here in his first year is going to meet with disaster? Not, right? Don't you get that sense? Here's the thing. I don't think it's because he doesn't know baseball. He does. He comes from a family of baseball. His dad and his brother knows a lot about pharmaceuticals. But what I would tell you is that the home run machine that should be the Yankees this year in that bandbox of a ballpark, which is a joke and embarrassing, and then the guys that actually would hit a ball out of any park, regardless of how embarrassing that little ballpark is, that they have collected, also scream injury-prone and going to miss a boatload of games. And I'll reiterate my point about I think it was Sanchez, Judge, and Giancarlo Stanton combo. Was the total 150? 130? Or was it just Stanton and Judge over 100? You got to go under there all day long.
Yeah.
There's no way you're taking over 100 home runs between those two guys. They could do it if they stayed healthy. Giancarlo Stanton has stayed healthy to play 150-plus games, I think, once in his career, twice maybe.
Yeah.
In his entire career.
And you're betting on 140-plus for the two of them. Now, one of them will be a DH, or Sanchez or whoever, but you're going to get a DH that's going to give you 35 before we even start, right? So now you're looking, can you give me 65?
Giancarlo Stanton can get hurt standing around. I mean, that dude gets hurt. To have a Greek god of a body like he does, to look the way he – and I've stood right next to him.
Yeah, if you have a batting practice injury candidate, he's probably atop the list.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He probably just got hurt right now. So, I mean, I'm telling you, one of those guys is going to get hurt. And you can take the under on 100 home runs all damn day. Now, I will also say –
sound like such a Mets fan with the pitching staff.
Now, I will say, though, again, if they stay healthy – and they're locked in the care, oh, well, damn, man. We might have ourselves a problem. But I am definitely going to say take the under on the 100. Fraudulent turkeys, goats, whatever you want to grab. They're the turkeys. They're the turkeys
the
for
gloops?
You. The gloops and the gleeps can be added to the fraudulence, yeah. Yeah, use it. Yeah, that's right. We'll now add to the gloops and the gleeps. I mean, the fraudulent turkeys and the fraudulent goats. You just can't get enough of the goats, man. They're always fantastic. What I don't want to see, and there has been this discussion, right, at some point, and I think it's more of a talking point than anything else, but what I really do not need to see, and it would make me angry because it would feel a little bit like the Golden State Warriors when they added Kevin Durant. But if the Yankees are able to add Manny Machado at any point here, what are we doing?
Well, that just sets
the
stage for
here?
Bryce Harper,
Yeah, now, the good news is most teams certainly do not like to trade within the division. So Baltimore should, at all costs, decide not to deal Manny Machado to the New York Yankees. But if it happened, I'm not sure that I could hate the Yankees more. If that happened, I would root for the greatest collapse in history on a daily basis. I would be insufferable in my Yankee hatred. It's just wrong.
So it would be more than ever before?
I think so.
They put some whoppers together in terms of rosters.
But I will tell you something, that the one that, was really good, that won the 3 World Series in 4 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys were homegrown, and I could deal with it.
Sure.
I could say, well, it's frustrating.
Yeah, but when you have Clemens and Messina and Pettit.
No, I get it.
Giambi.
It was always something that bothered me, but a lot of the guys were homegrown, and I thought, okay, At least those guys came up, a lot of them, in your farm system. This would be nonsense. This is ridiculous. This would really, really hurt. Now, listen, I have every right to do it. And if I were a Yankees fan, I'd say, that's right. Stack the deck. Screw all of you. We want more. I want a run of 5 and 6 years. Go to hell, rest of baseball. Although, again, it's just like what baseball used to have to say to Steinbrenner, which was, the Yankees can't play the Yankees, man. We have...
Well, that's where the luxury tax comes in, and they are reluctant to pay those luxury tax premiums that they had to in the past.
Man, I would... and it would be bad. I don't think, for example, last year's NBA season, that was not good for the league. The foregone conclusion that was the Cleveland Cavaliers making the finals and the foregone conclusion that was Golden State making the finals.
It's kind of a conclusion the year before. It got a little squirrely there with Oklahoma City, but
yeah, it did get squirrely, and because we hadn't seen it before, I think you thought we need to see this. This is great. Let's we need to see this. Let's get Cleveland and Golden State.
I guess I was like, I know I'm going to see this, so I guess I'm going to see it.
Yeah,
because it's going to happen.
But it was awesome. But last year was different because they had added Kevin Durant, which is nonsense. I mean, what are they doing here?
Wait till they get LeBron next year.
They're not going to get LeBron next year. But and by the way, the fighting LeBrons look good.
Yeah.
This has rejuvenated Cleveland in a way above and beyond what the stats said it would. Those guys are knocking down shots. The spacing's better. The energy's better.
Enjoy your LeBron rental, Cleveland. This is it. Swan song.
That's fine, because here's the deal. I think they got a good chance to go back to the finals. It's been a good run for Cleveland.
SI.com. I love L.A. And it's a picture of LeBron staring at the Hollywood.
That team he's got right now, man. That's a good little squad. I kind of like him again. Having fun watching
You
him.
like LeBron again? It's like overnight?
I didn't dislike LeBron.
I know.
I've never disliked LeBron. I like LeBron. I mean, sometimes he's delusional, but I like LeBron.
Sometimes Ric Flair has sold more realistic impacts than LeBron has.
Yeah. No, that's annoying. Flopping's annoying for anybody, for that matter, and especially a guy who's, whatever he is, 6'8", 298 pounds, if you're listening to Hubie Brown.
Now, LeBron James is 7'6", 330 pounds. Why on earth would you not take the ball to the basket if you're LeBron James?
So did you watch the highlight reel last night when he decided to take over the game?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
still got it.
One of the things that it was a reminder of is that it is awe-inspiring to watch him for stretches at a time be by far and away the greatest player on the planet. It's to be that big with those handles, that quickness, all of that strength, and then knocking down shot after shot because they got to extend, so he takes it to the basket. Then they stop extending, and he keeps hitting those. It's ridiculous. Those are those moments where you realize you really can't stop him.
Yeah, it's where I wish I could see him on a kick return or a first and goal from the one.
Play tight end in the NFL.
I mean, I'm just talking about something where you have a head of steam and they know what's coming. Kick return is a pure element of that. That's why with Derwin James, like the 4 times he did it, you were just, all right, let's see what the hell's going to happen here.
Would you draft Minkah Fitzpatrick or Derwin James?
Ooh. Is my no card on the line here?
No, you're taking Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
I think you are. He's more of a pure safety, right?
Oh, he's a pure defensive back. I think, not LeBron, Derwin, I think, is more of a defensive back linebacker hybrid.
You bring him down in the box, let him tackle against the run. He can do a lot of things for you. I would love to see a guy like Derwin James covering one of these elite tight ends.
But Minkah is more like a Jalen Ramsey impact player. I mean, that's just easy to see. Derwin is more like a Cam Chancellor type player. And I don't mean he's the same freak athlete as Cam. I'm not going to try and put that on him. But you're used to seeing him around the line of scrimmage. And I think that's where you're going to get used to seeing him be in the NFL, is closer to the line of scrimmage. Whereas Minkah can do a lot. He can do an awful lot. He can play back in, center field, or he can get up and cover somebody, or he can be around the line of scrimmage. Yeah.
Hand over that Noel card, sir. I knew you were going to do it. I set you up.
Well,
give me the card. Well, I don't want the
okay.
Bucs to take either, so don't worry about that.
There's no way that Chubb falls all the way to 7, though. You have to trade up, right?
This was a discussion I had day before last on the show about, you fire your defensive line coach as you should have. I'm still waiting on that offensive line coach to be told to have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Jesus, what are we doing here? Let's go.
Not blocking people.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, 27th in the run game, gave up a ton of sacks. Yeah, we need to go ahead and move on down that road, make things happen.
If Chubb is not available, and of course Arden Key apparently has such serious off-the-field concerns that he's dropping on boards. But we'll see if that's actually the case once we get to, the honest mock drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Would you?
Those aren't coming anytime soon. It'll be a little ways.
Would you be okay with taking one of those Notre Dame offensive linemen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like, because a lot of people have mixed feelings about the old offensive line draft in the first 10 picks.
I never do. I'm always in favor, unless I think there's a transcendent skill position player, i.e. quarterback, wide receiver, running back. There never is a DB that I want to take. There's never a DB.
Not even Jalen. A couple years ago.
Maybe. I did like
Old Sassy.
Yeah, old Sassy ain't having it.
Not a fan of Jalen, but a fan of those talents.
Well, I'm a big fan of Jalen if he's on my team. All damn day. That dude, right? I don't care if he's mocking the rest of his teammates. That dude is shut down, whoop your ass, doesn't care, isn't afraid, and they follow. Even amidst him ripping them, they follow that guy.
It's like the ultimate roast master.
Homeboy is – listen, here's the thing about Jalen, man. He's the what for is real.
It's like Don Rickles.
Everybody knows – right. Equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Don was the best. Don couldn't exist today.
Correct.
Don couldn't exist today, and that's a shame.
But Don could get
that's
on.
A shame.
He could get on Frank about mob stuff. Who else could pull that off?
Well, he could get on Richard Pryor about being black. I mean, he could do anything he wanted.
Sure.
Don was Don Rickles. He could do whatever because he was an equal opportunity ripper. He ripped everybody, every religion, every race, every creed, you name it.
He might be able to exist today. I don't know because
in a South Park episode.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
in
now
a
that's
South
different.
Park episode, but not stand up. I don't think.
Right. Yeah. You couldn't point at somebody and say it like he did.
Right.
That's
which was the best.
Right. In a way, Trey Parker and Matt Stone are doing that.
Oh, they do it in the only way they can.
Right. But they're not, You
can't stand on stage and do it.
Not the a cappella version.
No. But Jalen, back to the football, can do whatever it is he does, which is frequently something to raise an eyebrow where you'd say, that's not the action of a good teammate. However, he's bringing it on Sundays, and he's getting the best out of everybody, and they follow his lead. Old Sassy is brash in a way they embrace, even when he's ripping his quarterback on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, Bortles sucks. Jalen Ramsey liked this tweet.
Yeah, it's nuts. But here's the other thing is he's a corner. You can do it as a corner. You can't do it as a quarterback. That can't be you as a quarterback. And that brings us back to DeAndre Francois. You can do it as a corner. You can't as a quarterback. I'll be very interested. That is going to be the most fascinating aspect of the quarterback, quote-unquote, battle. Again, I don't think he's going to be healthy enough to battle in the spring, so you may not have a quarterback competition at all. The question is whether or not, and I got to ask this question via the email, jcs@979espnradio.com, will he be on this team when the ball kicks off in the fall against Virginia Tech? And I think, yes, he will, because I think it's too difficult for him to leave at this juncture. But I have my concerns. And I've had it since the day that he got hurt. Now, they were for other reasons because that injury was more significant than people realized. But also because of the lack of leadership stuff that we've seen from him.
Perhaps this is a bit confusing, but let's play the NFL injury game on the likelihood. It is probable, questionable, doubtful that he will be on the sideline for the Virginia Tech game.
Well, I think it's probable, and here's why. I'm gonna embrace Willie Taggart's brand of leadership and mode of motivating. He's a guy that I think you can see him pushing buttons already. I mean, he calls him out in an ESPN article. I think he would not have done that if he thought it pushed him further away. It might be ultimately a test to see if it does. And if it does, then he doesn't want him anyhow. If it does the opposite, which is what I suspect he thinks will happen, then you got your guy back who's learning how to lead and growing up a little bit and can be a big part of this team moving forward. You want that competition. Ultimately, you do.
You see that photo that he put out today on social? Coach Taggart?
Pimp, man. I love him.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
He's giving the Louis Vuitton bag to his lady for her birthday.
They're on the
wife,
private jet.
He's eating some Cool Ranch Doritos with a Moscow Mule.
I was like, yes.
That's the cool factor for recruiting right there.
That is my man.
Yeah, on the private jet.
Oh, I loved it. It was a thing of beauty. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When they say you'll never make it on your own, that's the time to really shine.
Everyone loves a comeback, like singer Camila Cabello. Your dry hair can have one too, with new Elvive Extraordinary Oil. In just one use, Elvive revives even your driest hair without weighing it down. Made with luscious camellia and sunflower oils, it leaves your hair healthier, shinier, and 10 times more nourished. Elvive revives dry hair. Look for the Elvive Extraordinary Oil Hair Care Treatment at your local retailer or at L'OrealParisUSA.com, because you're worth it.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You could do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Looking for new furniture or mattresses? Call Tallahassee Furniture Direct today at 545-7112. Brand new furniture and mattresses at ridiculously low prices. Mattress sets less than $200. Bedroom sets less than $400. Living room sets less than $600. And complete apartment packages 50% below retail. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112. Quality furniture, low prices. Delivery is available. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio. WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Tallahassee Sports Center.
I'm Lee Gordon. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. It's the final stretch for the Florida State men's basketball team tonight. A 7 o'clock tip at home against Clemson. Then on Sunday, they're home again against Pitt. They'll hit the road 2 more times in February, NC State and Clemson, and close things out against Boston College on March the 3rd. Now, Florida State needs wins. They've got to get to that 20 mark if they want to guarantee themselves a trip to the NCAA tournament. And while baseball doesn't start yet, Florida State softball has already begun. The Seminoles Vols have won their first couple of games, and tonight they're at home for the very first time when they take on Florida A&M. Sean White has apologized for referring to a sexual misconduct lawsuit filed against him in 2006 as gossip during a news conference today. And former Heisman winner Johnny Manziel will participate in the Developmental Spring League this year as part of his attempt to return to the NFL.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. We're just 2 hours away from a big old game at the TLC Double C, Florida State and Clemson. Yeah, biggin'. JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com is the email address. On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. If you miss anything, go and use that. You'll find archived audio there just as you will on iTunes and in our own audio vault. If you want to watch us performing our duties on radio, you can do so. Go to YouTube, type in ESPN Tallahassee. Hello, YouTubers. Also, those who are really enthralled by the Periscope. Go to Twitter and follow at 979 ESPN Radio, and you can watch the show being periscoped. People still periscoping? Is that a thing? I know we utilize the Periscope on Twitter, but do people remember that was popular for a second? We did one in there in the on the whiteboard there.
That's right.
For like half a second just to see if it worked.
Well, with the logo, we were looking for the show logo, like Mr. Garrison.
That's right. Yeah, I like that is a kind of the unofficial show logo. Sometimes it's my avatar. Sometimes it's just what we use to promote the show being on. Yeah. Other times it's different stuff. But yeah, that's absolutely. Thank you, Clay. You made me laugh mid-sentence. I just got a the Sea of Geriatrics are wild in Tallahassee tweet with a gif of old people waving as I was speaking. Well, I called them the Sea of Geriatrics.
Oh, is that what you called them that yesterday?
That's what I called them that yesterday.
My goodness, you stirred up a lot of emotions.
Apparently, yeah, especially from people who take me way too seriously. So, yeah, I think that did happen. But it was fun.
Clicked on to their Earthlink or their America Online and, waited for the buzzer to send you the email.
Used to do that.
Email sent.
And wait for hours for that thing to connect and to download whatever. When the internet started for us, where we had access to it, my old roommate was really always hip to the internet and all things technologically associated. So he had everything always. And I was like the last guy on earth to have a cell phone. So I remember I would say, hey, can I use your computer and get on the internet? He's like, oh, yeah, sure. It's going to take a little while. Takes a little while. And you'd go up there and you listen to the and the whole thing. And I thought it was the coolest thing because of music. Because you could find music, live shows, bootlegged shows. That's what you could find. Like that, to me, that's all the internet was.
Yeah.
The ability to find other music freaks who had some, pirated copy of, whatever, some, Sam Cooke show from Harlem in the 1950s. And you could find it, and they'd have it. Oh, that's amazing. But back then, trying to download even a single song.
Oh, it took 5 minutes.
It was ridiculous.
At minimum.
Oh, longer, yes. And I mean,
no, if you're talking about a 3 to 5 megabyte file.
And it would just, and then it would get stopped, it'd get interrupted.
Yeah.
It would just get interrupted, and you have to start over.
The interrupting was,
somebody would call your house phone.
Oh.
Son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now we're screwed. There it is. It's all over, yeah. That would happen.
For me, when we first got the internet, the AOL, it was always a nervous time when you heard those. Because Instant Messenger, and you hope the girls that you wanted to talk to were on Instant Messenger.
See, that didn't exist. We didn't have Instant Messenger.
Oh, so you'd be nervous, and you'd say, oh, is their screen name on?
Are they
there? Oh, my gosh, I hope they're
there.
there.
They're watching. Are they doing it?
And then they're not. You're like, oh. And then 5 seconds later, it makes the noise, and they're on. And it's like, It's like a door opening.
See, this is where our eras crossed. I nenever had a part of that.
And
Don't know
like,
anything that you're talking about.
What am I going to say? So you just type in like the hello message, and just before you send it, it goes, and the door slams and they're offline. You go,
I had a window.
No.
I could have said something witty, grabbed their attention, and kept them here for hours.
I should have just said hi.
Something, anything. Florida State tonight. It would behoove them to win this game against Clemson, who is 20-4 on the season, 9-3 in the ACC. They come here a very different team than they were a year ago. It was, in the traditional sense, a more Clemson-like season last year when we watched them, have a losing record and absolutely get blown out by Florida State on Super Bowl Sunday. That was the game we were alluding to last hour. Florida State went on a 23-4 run there late in the first half, led at halftime 51-25. At the end of the day, won that game 109-61. It was a beaten and then some. We made 17 three-pointers that day, set a program record for an ACC game. Our previous record was 16 threes knocked down, and that 85-61 rout of Maryland back in 2014. By the way, get you some of that. Ian Miller knocking them down back in the day. Forgot about old Ian Miller, did you?
Ian Miller, man. Now there's a guy who could pull up from 15 feet and hit you, a shot in transition. That was what he was good for.
Yep. Clemson is shooting the ball much better this year, and thus they've gone and won a lot of basketball games. 20-4, as I said. They haven't lost a home game, so you want to get this one because you played Clemson twice, and they're 4-3 on the road, but they are 13-0 at home. And if you're healthy and you're back to being your old self, and I'm speaking to Brian Angola's nursing ankle injury and Terrence Mann, who I think has had the more severe of the ankle-foot injury. Those two guys have not looked like themselves in each of the last two basketball games. And Florida State really, frankly, can't win games if those two guys, not consistently anyhow, if those two guys aren't going to be right. And so I'm very eager to see how they come out tonight. When you watch Terrence Mann, characteristically, one of the things he does well is get to the basket, slash, get putbacks, get rebounds, really become a pest, a nuisance for opposing teams because he makes up for what he's lacking in other physical skills with good basketball IQ, not to use a cliche. He's a smart basketball player, and he plays that way, but he also plays with an explosiveness. We've seen him thunder around the rim a couple times this year with the unexpected, he's had that explosiveness, but you have seen none of that lately, and that's, again, problem with the ankle. And when he can't do that, keep plays alive, extend possessions with an offensive board, kick it back out, maybe get a putback, something like that, then he's really not all that useful because he's not a good jump shooter. He's not going to sit over there and spot up, catch and shoot, and knock down those shots unless it's mid-range. And that's, it also hurts him on the defensive end. Angola is a very good shooter who is streaky as all get out, but when he doesn't have his ankles or his feet and he can't get it lift on that jump shot, he's inconsistent. And then, obviously, you see him struggle to score. Those two guys have been mired in a slump / brought on by injury, and Florida State's lost those games because of it. Let's see if the energy's right at the TLC-CC tonight, with the focal point being that, hey, you got a chance right now to remedy the couple of losses you've had, get this win, be secure on the right side of the bubble where, frankly, they're not even on the bubble yet. A loss tonight puts them squarely on it, and they've got real problems on their hands. A win tonight, we all exhale tomorrow and say, all right, looking good. We'd be up to 7 wins at that point. You'd have an opportunity in the conference. You'd have an opportunity from there. You'd be 7-7. It's always nice to be 500. I hate sitting there looking at a sub-500 record in the conference. You'd be 7-7 in the ACC at that point. You'd be 18-8 overall. You'd have 6 real quality wins on the ledger. And you'd already have, we think, in your back pocket, at least one more win with a home game against Pitt on Sunday. You got another home game against Boston College later on. So you'd be in a real good position to finish the year, bare minimum, 500 in the ACC. That's going to get you to the NCAA tournament. Before the ACC tournament even begins, you would know that. You could rest easy. And I would say, frankly, I would deem the season as a success. So strangely enough, tonight's game features all of these factors, and you realize that maybe tonight when your head hits the pillow, you're going, hey, I think we're going dancing. Or your head hits the pillow and you go, I'm not real sure we're going dancing. This is not looking good. And that's miserable.
Okay, so with all that said and laid out before us, and it's true, that's
like
quite a buffet.
Tonight. Yeah, I like us tonight.
Well, there's the question.
Yeah, I do. I do like us tonight. I knew that was the question. I like us tonight, but it all is really contingent on whether or not our two best scorers are healthy. And, I can't know that. I knew about the injury after the Notre Dame game. I did some calling around, did some checking because they just didn't look right, and they haven't looked right for a few games.
You were hoping for that answer.
I really was, because I was worried that there was something else going on in the locker room or between, personalities or a clash with coaches and players or something. But it didn't seem likely it could be that, because this group has really been affable. It's been a fun they're fun-loving. When you watch them, the way they kind of play the game and with each other, for each other, I always thought, this is a fun group. They really like each other, so they're playing hard for each other, and that's enjoyable to watch, and it's enjoyable to embrace. So I was kind of worried. So when I got the answer that, no, they're dinged, they don't want to talk about it, they're certainly not going to blame it on injury, but they're playing through it right now. And, a lot of teams go through that, though. In fairness, I like that they weren't looking to make excuses. I like that it really hasn't come up in an interview. They've been asked, certainly, about their ineffective play lately, and that neither one of them have said anything about the problems they've had. Allegedly, I was told one's wearing a boot pretty consistently right now. So, you could fall back on injury. You could easily blame your inability to put the ball in the basket on those things, and they haven't yet. Good, because a lot of teams at this late juncture of the season have these problems. You got to find a way to fight through.
Well, I like that they're not blaming that, too. That means to me they're not panicking, because if you're looking for a reason, hey, it's not my fault. Listen, that tells me that there is an urgency in your mind, maybe not a good kind of urgency. Let's hope that the good kind of urgency, on the other hand, is what we see tonight for 40 minutes. Because I can tell you, even if you come out with energy and you're up 8 at the break, we're not comfortable.
Well, nobody will, because the way we've started each and every second half this year.
So I don't know if there's a scenario at halftime where you're feeling like, okay, everything is all right. Because even a big lead, you'd say, well, listen, guys, we got to be able to close this basketball game. I hope it's not one of those circumstances where Clemson comes out, they hit a bunch of perimeter shots, and you feel like there's a vacuum, in the room. The TLC doesn't have the energy, and you got to fight and claw to get it back. You'd like to get out in front of this thing, especially after the way Saturday went.
Listen here, you sea of geriatrics. I hope I have sufficiently roused your ire. Let's get after it tonight. That's right, to spite me and to cheer on your beloved university and its players. Come on, get after it. Crazy loud. You can rest deep into the day tomorrow.
MJ and CJ are not the only walkers we want to see in the air.
You win. You win. And you were proud of yourself before you said it. I saw instantaneous recognition of what you were going to say and the smile that it elicited. That was beautiful.
Even my sickly brain now. I got one or two left in the bag.
It was well done. I said he's going for it. He's reaching for it. There it is. And it was well delivered. Nicely done. You didn't miss your opportunity. That wasn't like not getting the high in time on AOL. That was clearly just in the nick of time. That was really well done.
That's still a flashbacks, man. That's like, being on 17 Heilemann and mishitting my tee shot with you. I feel the same way about those misses.
Oh, I forgot about that. You were charged with enthusiasm of the round you were having, and then bam, and I went, ooh, and you went, ooh.
And it's gone.
It's gone.
And the adrenaline took it over.
And it's gone. Sean writes, I was listening to the show, and I heard Jeff mention he had never seen a Pro 5 putt when discussing Rory McIlroy last weekend. I want to suggest that he Google Ernie Els' 6-putt from the Masters a couple of years ago. And you know what, Sean? I remember it now thanks to you. We were on the air.
We talked about it.
It hurt my heart.
That was a tough subject. We've had more serious subjects, but that was a tough one to talk about.
Well, we both like Ernie, and that was just wrong. My man was out here 6-putting. He had the yips for the whole world to see. Yeah. I forgot about that.
He came back and he made the cut last year.
Made the cut last
year.
year.
I don't think he made it the 7-putt.
6-putt.
6-putt.
Yeah, it was a 6-putt.
Well, that 7-1 with Dicey, it was a nice putt.
Well, I'll tell you, I think Rory's 5th putt was a lipper that went in. It was like it was circled. I remember thinking,
"Gonna be out here all day."
That's actually uncomfortable when you watch that. When you're like, "Oh, he missed it from 2 feet. He's got 3 feet coming back."
A lot of those guys, and it's a left to righter.
Yeah, like
he missed the right to lefter.
Eminently missable. This is not good. It's Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
This paint and body.
License number MP46050.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a car. A used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit, and at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Hi guys, we're the Sugar and Spice Girls. Do you want your next party to really heat up?
How about having your temperature taken by one of our hot nurses?
Sugar and Spice is Tallahassee's largest and most prestigious adult entertainment company. From one-on-ones to house parties, call Sugar and Spice. We'll always be nice.
524-8927. That's 524-8927.
We're available to come to your location 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on holidays.
View our selection online at ilovesugarandspice.com.
Right now, the Home Depot has up to 35% off appliance special buys, including the Hoover Power Scrub Elite Carpet Cleaner for just $148. Its quick clean mode with heat force shortens drying time to less than 45 minutes. Now you can get professional cleaning power for your carpets without the professional cleaning bill. Save up to 35% off appliances now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only while supplies last. See store for details. Valid through February 28th.
Out on the golf course, there are the obvious hazards. There's the pond, the bunker, the rough, the even rougher.
Yeah, put me down for an 8.
The giant maples. The row of houses out of bounds on the right. The angry flock of geese who've surrounded your ball. Even the occasional groundskeeper you had no clue was there. But if you think you found every possible hazard out there, think again. The hazard you missed could actually be a killer. It's the spot on your skin, the one that could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Woohoo! Banditos!
Huh? Where?
Banditos burritos, baby.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
It is the biggest stage in all of stock car racing.
Kicks off a new season with the Great American Race.
Something that's on every single driver's bucket list.
The 60th running of the Daytona 500.
Chase Elliott tries to go for the lead. Larson throws the block. Oh, and he gets snookered.
Exchanging haymakers at the front of the field.
Sunday at 1:30.
They're 3 wide behind them.
On the Motor Racing Network.
Daytona 500, brought to you locally by Lisa's Paint and Body. Locally owned and operated since 2002. License number MV46050.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. FSU's road woes are what have me concerned about tonight's game because, again, you get tonight's game, you rest easy. You lose tonight's game, and you're talking about problems, again, because you have 3 remaining games, including tonight's, at the TLC-CCC, and that would give you a 6-4 record against the top 50 RPI. Good to go. Good to go at that point. I would think you're no worse than 9-9 in the ACC if you win tonight's game. Again, good to go. Really good situation. You lose tonight's game, though. 500 against top 50 RPI. You got road games where you haven't necessarily played well. Clemson's undefeated at home right now. I don't know. I'd be very much on edge.
So you feel good, but are you nervous though? I mean, there's got to be some nerves about this game if it means that much as you're sizing it up and looking at the rest of the schedule.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I guess I'm nervous because I want it so bad for them. I want to see them do this. I think they're a fun team. I've said all year long, one of the things I've liked most about the team is effort. For the first time, really, the second half of that game against Notre Dame, you had some questions about effort anyhow. But because they try hard, because they play hard, because they've overcome the loss of the vast majority of their scoring output from a year ago and still find themselves in a position in a conference like this to be a team of significance and make the tournament, I'd like to see that happen. I'd like to see them rewarded for all of that effort. It's really about those guys that I like, that I think are very likable, who represent the school and the program well. And I'm not being that guy who's like, oh, but our graduation rates are great too. No, that's important. It matters. I get it. But once you start talking about that, you're not talking about a team who's competitive on the floor, who's on its way to making a tournament. And this team is good enough in a year in which the NCAA tournament should be infinitely fascinating, given the fact that there isn't really a dominant team. I don't know what we'll do in the NCAA tournament. We could lose in the first round if we make it by 15 to somebody that maybe you're favored to beat. I don't know. But you could also win a couple of games and find yourself in the Sweet 16, and it wouldn't be all that shocking either because there are a lot of teams that on any given night, Florida State's very capable of beating, and there aren't that many. Villanova, certainly it's not Virginia, the current number 1.
Yeah.
So, I like our chances.
Yeah, agreed. No, and once again, I'll do this through the end of the year, probably, as long as we're still on the bubble or inside the bubble. If it, goes to hell in a handbasket, won't be any need. But just look at the results and look what this team has shown that it can do. It can go on the road and beat Florida and trounce Florida. It can go on the road to Cameron Indoor and play Duke, a team with Bagley healthy that goes for 30 and 20 and be within a couple of buckets down the stretch. It's a team that could beat North Carolina. It's a team that could play right with the number 1 RPI team in the country, who's also number 1 in the land right now in Virginia. It's a team that could lose to Wake Forest, too, and give you an effort like it did in the second half, especially against Notre Dame. So a lot of things this team is capable of, but there's no doubt that if they were to get to the tournament, they could make noise. That would not be a shocker. Hopefully tonight is the good version of the team where I can laundry list our results in the good column and add, it's a team that can beat RPI number 4 Clemson at home and handle business.
That's what I am talking about. Oh, by the way, real quick, latest of the mock drafts as we get closer and closer. Just an aside football note. Our friend Charlie Campbell, who we'll have on the program in the not-too-distant future.
Hopefully he doesn't shrink us down to 5 minutes this year. He's getting more picky with the time now.
Yeah, Charlie will do it. He knows the deal. I mean, everybody's got their various sites. We go to tons of them. We don't only go to walterfootball.com. They make mistakes just like all the sites do. But Charlie, we know, at the very least, does his due diligence, actually talks to people at the organizations or with the organizations, and has done, by and large, a pretty good job of mocking these things up. And that's why we go to him. And it's less about even the site. It's my affinity for the job he does.
No, and one of his best accomplishments in the last couple of years was Dak Prescott. And saying that there's legitimate buzz about Dak and scouts are happy with what he can do on the whiteboard. That was a shocker at the time to hear that prior to the draft.
We certainly raised an eyebrow given the offense that he came out of. So, yeah, and it turned out to be at least accurate for this past, or 2 years ago, this past year. But
still, I mean, compared to what expectations were when he's draft ready.
He's a good player. Saquon Barkley, who got Cleveland taken right off the bat. I just always feel like when you're struggling, you need so much more than a running back. Even having said that, the Bucs struggled so bad in the run game. Would I like a Saquon Barkley if he were somehow still there when we drafted? Sure, I would. But, boy, that would be a tester. If somehow you were getting ready to draft in Tampa Bay and a running back of that caliber were there, would you want that over, say, a Minkah Fitzpatrick? Would you want that over a Bradley Chubb? Probably not, right?
Not over a Bradley Chubb, no way. Defensive back, we can evaluate that. Probably not still, though. Probably not. If we were drafting where we were last year in the teens, I mean, Saquon's available. Yeah. Sure. I wanted Dalvin.
Yeah, you wanted Dalvin, yeah.
So to say that I don't want Saquon would be stupid. We'll see what he puts up at the combine, but the film says he's a pretty damn good player. It's the unique situation, I think, that Cleveland obviously picks again in the top 5.
Yeah.
Is why they would just take him off the board and say the hell with it.
You could do it, yeah.
Any one of these quarterbacks we're fine with. So let's go take the best player on the board, and then we'll worry about quarterback based upon who goes at 2 and 3.
And he's got them leaning towards Sam Darnold, which I find fascinating. I'm not leaning towards Sam Darnold if I'm taking a quarterback. By the way, he's got Bucs taking Minkah Fitzpatrick, and the whole reason I brought any of this up was not to talk about the Cleveland Browns or even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but rather Florida State's own Derwin James, who he has going in the top 10 to San Francisco. We'll see. But top 10 pick for Derwin James, I don't suspect that we ever thought anything different would be the case for him, if only because no matter productivity issues at Florida State, had the missed season due to injury, whether or not we used him right, what is he exactly, all these questions that come up when you talk about Derwin James. What he is a physical freak in an ever-changing NFL that loves hybrids, and I think he has a chance to be a hybrid, and he's probably not going to fall out of the top 10, so that makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt, and this is prior to the Combine. His stock will go up at the Combine. Yeah. That's really important. And the Combine actually isn't that far away. It's I know the NFL pushed it back in recent years, but it's the 27th through the 4th, I think it is. But it's just in a couple of weeks now where they're going to be out in Indianapolis and going through all the drills.
Well, and that's the other reason I brought it up, was to kind of take a look here, just a cursory glance at the early prognostications that we're hearing now, and I wanted to go to a guy that's been a mainstay on the program and just kind of, all right, well, let's see what we got. And, yeah, that seems to be in line with, by the way, what a lot of people are looking at when it comes to Derwin James, which is top 10 like we thought. And I agree with you. When he gets to the Combine, given what he is physically, he'll also interview very well. Derwin's a guy that, who I had the pleasure of sitting down and talking with on numerous occasions, but in particular for a good 30 minutes before this past season. And I came away very impressed. Just the way that he talked about his teammates, his work ethic, the love of football is very apparent when you talk to him. That matters when you're differentiating between the 6th pick and the 9th pick and the 7th pick. So he's a guy that he'll sit down, he'll talk football, he knows the game, he loves the game, he has a passion for working hard, he'll fit in as a teammate, all that's there, and then he's got the physical tools.
Derek Nottie. Is it somebody that you would want on your NFL roster, or let's say you had to pick him by the end of the 2nd round? Would you want to spend a top 60 pick on Derek Nottie, or would you want to look elsewhere?
I think I'm, maybe looking elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not taking the Noel card. Listen, the NFL game is a little different. So,
yeah, I mean, it is.
He's been so damn good for us, though, and we wasted that career. I feel like if we won more, and he was a big part of it, as he was a big part of whatever we were going to do, I think we would feel about him a little bit, better when it comes to the next level.
Yeah, but I just think, he doesn't necessarily, he doesn't jump off the page for you. Your boy, Taven Bryan, the defensive tackle at Florida, for example.
Yeah.
Figures to go a lot higher. We know that. A lot of other guys on that list of defensive tackles.
Well, listen, I'm not saying first round. I'm just saying second go around. Let's say the Bucs get, Fitzpatrick, or they trade up for Chubb, or Chubb falls, whatever it is. And then now you're to your second need. So second-round draft pick. We're picking around, 40 probably?
Yeah, I need to look that up. I'm still looking at the offensive line at this point is what I'm looking at. I mean, that's another reason that
Pass rusher, offensive line.
Yeah, to me, I'm saying let's go offensive line. I'm assuming you got your pass rusher maybe in the first round, so I just have a hard time. It's always about need. It's always really about need, and, I mean, I think if they don't – by the way, Auden Tate – is of great intrigue to me in where he goes. Charlie's got him going in the second round very early.
Really?
And I kind of am surprised by that. It's all about the fact that he is a big target and can be a size mismatch, but I don't know, man. But here's the deal. A guy who does not require speed to get open and make plays, this is known going in. Like, he's not – it doesn't matter if he runs 4.6. People aren't thinking of him as fast.
Right.
It's not like a guy that you see runs away from somebody in college or whatever reason he's able to utilize his skill set in college to get a lot of big plays, and then they go to the combine and you watch him run slow. Anquan ran relatively slow, and everybody went, whoa. And then we saw that he was so much more than that. He actually had football speed and was so big and so strong, he got open either way, and he went on to have what we've debated is a Hall of Fame career, right? So Auden's not going to go to the combine and have people expecting him to run 4.4. They're going to look at him and see how big he is and how productive he was in the red zone.
And how polished he is in his route running. This is somebody who figured out his body by the time he left here, and that's why he would have been so huge. To be on this team next year and lead that receiver core, really, that's the one. When he said he was going, I thought, it's the right call, but I wish you had made the other call.
Let me ask you this, because the Bucs, we talk about them needing an offensive line, we need all that other stuff. If you get your pass rusher in the first round, there's a very good chance that when you draft next, Nick Chubb is going to be around.
He's a nice player.
Oh, he's got some what for.
He's got what for, but if you're talking about translation, Sony Michel is probably the guy that automatically jumps off the page.
You and I talked about Sony Michel in the national championship game and what he was.
That did a lot for him. You compare those two talents against the speed that they saw on the field. Now, I'll grant you, if Alabama's living in the backfield, it's tough. But that game does a lot for Sony Michel.
It did do a lot for Chubbs. It did a lot.
And Chubb's
for
a good player.
He's a real good player.
He tore it up in the SEC title game, so I don't want to take anything away from him against elite SEC defense.
I was going to say he has a chance at the right place. You're running downhill, wearing on people, beating people up, and he's going to go early second, mid-second. You got a chance with him if he's still sitting there, and we don't have a running game.
Well, if you get pass rusher in the first round, my question in the second round is, what's the best available pass rusher?
Yeah.
Can we load up on pass rushers?
Up on pass rushers. You go defensive end, offensive line, defensive end, offensive line, defensive end.
I think we're okay at receiver. Yeah.
And we go from there.
We can sign somebody at tailback.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have
the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit. And at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much. Way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Nestled in Midtown Tallahassee, you'll find a piece of old Ireland. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub. Locally owned and operated, Finnegan's Wake is the only pub in Tallahassee with an authentic Irish bar. Finnegan's Wake offers the largest selection of Irish whiskey in town and pours more Guinness than any bar or restaurant from Pensacola to Jacksonville. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m., Finnegan's offers live music from local and national acts, karaoke, and hospitality nights, and is Tallahassee's premier viewing location for all professional soccer leagues matches. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub, right off Thomasville Road next to 5th and Thomas. Come join us for a pint, a match, and more stories.
Milwaukee and Cornerstone are nothing but heavy duty. It's back. The M18 Fuel Trade-In promo with an instant $100 off almost all Milwaukee M18 kits. M18 Impact Hammer Drill Kit, normally $419, now only $319 with your choice of specific bare tools. Bring in your old Milwaukee tool and Cornerstone will get you a brand new one. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. Big store pricing with local service. 1110 Stuckey Avenue and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
Did you know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric? That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Is all your insurance protection under one roof? Make the right choice. Williams Insurance Agency is locally owned and operated, serving Tallahassee and surrounding communities for over 34 years. With access to more than 28 national and Florida-based insurance carriers, they have an independent advantage. Multiple lines of personal, commercial, and life insurance all under one roof. If you don't know insurance, know your agent. Williams Insurance Agency, 2901 East Park Avenue, Suite 2200. Call them today at 877-8555 or visit online at williamsinsurancinc.com.
Looking for new furniture or mattresses? Call Tallahassee Furniture Direct today at 545-7112. Brand new furniture and mattresses at ridiculously low prices. Mattress sets less than $200. Bedroom sets less than $400. Living room sets less than $600. And complete apartment packages 50% below retail. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112. Quality furniture, low prices. Delivery is available. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This Day in Sports history.
February 14th, 1966. Wilt Chamberlain broke the NBA's career scoring record, which was previously held by Bob Pettit at 20,880 points. Wilt the Stilt would eventually finish his career with a total of 31,419 points, which currently ranks him 4th all-time. Chamberlain scored 41 that night in a 149-123 win against the Detroit Pistons.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Superlube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You could do this today. Superlube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Superlube my car. Yes, sir.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I hate to throw this out there as it could mess up the mojo for tonight, but did you happen to watch? Maybe not. Maybe be positive. But when I watch something like this and I have two teams that I don't care about and it's happening, I'm always thinking that I'm the fan base that's on the wrong side of an amazing result, meaning a spectacular flame out from somebody. Did you happen to see the buzzer beater that capped the Bucknell rally from down 8 with 30 seconds to play that they came back and won in regulation?
No, in regulation?
Yes.
No. Thankfully, no.
You want your feelings hurt as a fan base, man. It's crazy. Kimball McKenzie hits this shot, and who cares about him? Good for him. But he had a go-ahead corner 3 as time expired the other night. It wasn't last night before. To beat Colgate 65-64. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, Jeff, who cares? It's Colgate and Bucknell. Well, listen, college basketball has been good this year, and there have been lots of opportunities to watch games amongst teams that I normally wouldn't be inclined to watch, but I find myself flipping around and watching, and this ending turned out to be one of these things that is you really hope never happens to you, because as you correctly point out, Tom, I think that for whatever reason, the emotions that basketball elicits and the frustration and the audible reaction of fans when you're going through a collapse or a nightmare, no sport. I mean, I'm usually just absolutely stare in the distance, kind of quiet when my closer screws up. Nothing irks me more in sport than my closer blowing a game that we've led the entirety.
Especially if it's a multi-run lead.
Yeah, that hurts. It's you're up 2 and they give up 3.
Yeah, I mean, if you're up 2-1, you're like, well, we only scored 2 freaking runs.
Right,
you know,
it can happen.
It's going to happen. But
you're up 4-1, you lose 5-4. Somebody gives up a walk-off grand slam.
That takes some effort.
Yeah, you screwed up, and then you screwed up again.
We've been sitting here for 15 minutes waiting for this thing.
At the end of sitting 3 hours.
Yeah.
And, that hurts, you know? So
a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings tonight.
That bothers me to no end.
The 9th sure wasn't.
But I do think watching a team give up an 8-point lead in 30 seconds is got to be tougher. Bucknell trailed by 13 midway through the second half, by 10 with less than a minute to go.
Oh!
They trailed by 10 with less than a minute to go.
Oh!
They trailed by 8 with under 30 seconds to play.
Not just screwing, Mitch.
So you get a putback off of a missed jumper with 20. Let me tell you how this happened. You get a putback off of a missed jumper with 20.7 seconds left, okay? He draws a foul and hits the free throw on the putback, so it's a 3-point play. Now you're within 5, okay, because you were down 8 at that point with 20 seconds. You get the basket on the putback and the foul, so you have an and 1. Now it's a 5-point game. Bucknell's guard, Jordan Swoopshire, couldn't handle the ensuing inbounds pass, fumbled it out of bounds. We did that earlier this year.
Oh, yeah. Angola off the chest.
Yeah. Fumbled it out of bounds. So the McKenzie kid ends up trying a 3 on the inbounds the other way, right? So Colgate shoots the 3. McKenzie shoots the 3. It's blocked. It's corralled, and you get a layup and a foul. So, at first, they ruled that the foul was intentional because he didn't make a play for the ball. They had to go back and review it. They go back and review it. They were about to wave it off. They went and looked at it again. It was a long sequence. Finally, they ruled that it was an intentional foul. So Bucknell received 2 free throws and the ball on a questionable.
That sounds like somebody's getting involved there a little bit.
The thing of it is, when I watch the replay, what the deal on that is, when you're fouling a guy, if you make no play on the ball, you just grab their back or you wrap your arm around somebody. They're going to call that. And he simultaneously has the hand on the back and is pulling the guy back, but then reaches around to try to get the ball. But the foul is initially called as it's the pullback. So it was almost like he panicked and realized, I'm not making a play on the ball. They deemed it too little too late. They called the intentional. All right? So he makes no play on the ball. He gets 2 free throws and the ball. He sinks 1 of 2 free throws. That pulls Bucknell within 2 with 11 seconds to play.
Oh, we know how this story ends.
Mm-hmm. And then, anyhow, as it turns out, they get the ball back. All 5 Bucknell players touch the ball on a possession as they come racing back down the floor. And with less than a second, he releases it from the baseline and hits the 3. They win by 1.
Buck nasty.
So here's the thing. Like, Bucknell's 18-9, 12-2 in the Patriot League. They were going anyhow. Colgate is 14-11, 9-5 in the league. Really meant something to Colgate. Really kind of needed to have that happen for you, Colgate. And
you don't just have 2 N1s. You have N1s, and the second one is an intentional.
Mm-hmm. And then they get the ball back on the intentional, and then with 11 seconds. And you can see it on the faces. You realize it. You realize Colgate knows. There's no chance this guy doesn't hit a 3. Like, you realize.
Futility. It doesn't matter what we do.
It's hurtful because they actually play great defense. They're all up. That's why the ball has to be touched by so many people, and they finally kick it to the corner, and the kid hits the 3, and I thought, oh, as soon as he releases it, it's weird. You look at those guys at Colgate, and you know they know. It's released, and you're like, that's going to go in. And it did. And I just would not be okay. I don't think I'd be okay. I'd be mad for weeks. For weeks.
You ever lose a devastating game like that? Like as a player?
Not like that, no. Never was on the wrong end of a Hail Mary. Was never on the wrong end of like a 10-point run in 30 seconds. Was never no, I've never had that happen. No, I've lost games that I thought we were going to win. That team I was on, I thought we were going to win the game. We were the better team, and we just didn't play well and lost, and that's disheartening. But I've never had something where, somebody hits a miracle shot or throws the ball 60 yards a la Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's just wrong.
I was in the batter's box to cap off a 5-run rally in 6th grade baseball, and it was a wild pitch. I don't have to do a damn thing.
You were relieved.
I was waving.
Yeah.
I waved him home.
Come on.
It got to the backstop.
Let's go.
I was the first one jumping around, tossed my helmet, the whole thing, but we were down. Yeah, we were down 4 in the 9th, and we scored, or I guess it was the 6th, whatever it is.
Little league.
At that level, you're 13 years old, 12, 13. Yeah, but that's the only thing I can think of.
Matt Millar and I were on a city league softball team together. I think they gave up like 8 or 9 runs in the final inning. But it's softball. Everybody gets a hit, so it can happen. I mean, we were also on the right side of that, too. He also hit into a double play when we had a chance to win in the final inning while I was on base.
I'm sure you were thrilled.
Oh, I was real thrilled. Yeah, I was standing on second.
Tailor-made?
He just needed – oh, yeah.
There wasn't a line out or anything like that.
And he's no speed demon, so I knew as soon as he hit it.
It was fielded cleanly?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, that's so – yeah.
Was it 6'4", 4'6"3"?
I think it was 6'4", yeah. I can still remember him.
Well, you just made his drive home.
Oh,
now he's happy.
He knows he did it. At Jay Cameron Show, the most dominant unit in the playoffs was the Eagles' offensive line. There wasn't a below-average offensive line unit up front anywhere in the playoffs. If the Bucs get Quentin Johnson calling my shot, JW will be in the midseason MVP discussion. Well, I mean, listen, we both agree that Jameis has got a chance to have a huge year. He's got to be healthy. He had a good year in the games that he played, and that was without a running game, and that was behind a sieve of an offensive line that got him sacked, what was it, over 40 times, whatever it was. So here's the thing. If you keep him upright, protect him in the pocket, and give him a modicum of a running game, he's going to put up huge numbers because they do have weapons. So I don't disagree with that, and I think that you can go offensive line crazy here. I agree, but again, I have a hard time watching the Bucs on 3rd down on defense because I know short of 3rd and 28, it's probably going to be converted.
Yeah.
Or that there's a real good chance it's going to be converted. And it's not even just being cynical. They just are not going to get pressure. They're going to let an NFL quarterback sit there for a good 5, 6, 7 seconds, and nobody can cover anybody, let alone average secondaries, for 6 seconds.
No, I agree. I can see it in my mind. I'm staring off because I'm looking and I'm seeing, he's got time. He's got time. He's got time.
All day.
Miss the throw.
All day.
Miss it.
Always.
You need the quarterback to miss the throw.
Yeah, and occasionally they did, but that's damn sorry. That's
what you're left to do.
That's just damn sorry. I hope he misses the throw or the guy drops it. We're talking about professional football players. That's the worst. That's like a
Noonan.
Yeah, Noonan. It's ridiculous. I hope he just misses the throw to a wide open receiver, or that when it gets there, a professional wide receiver just inexplicably drops it. That's what I'm reduced to.
Yes. Welcome to Tampa Bay.
Wrap it up momentarily. No, we won't. I'm talking here.
Kind of stuck in between here.
Well, I wanted to cut over to basketball, but I figured the segue was lost and gone. But it's here, and I'm
Big
doing
Daddy
it now.
Jays? No?
Big Daddy Jays.
Doing basketball?
Well, I got burned in basketball this weekend. You won big.
I did.
You won big, and I was impressed with your winnings. I was
strong to quite strong.
Yeah. I, however, was on the wrong end. Big Daddy, ventured out off the ice. I ventured off the ice, and I paid a precious price for venturing off the ice.
Precious premium.
It was brutal what happened to me. I also took Matthew's advice on the Pistons for a night, and he let me down terribly. And so things had gone south between the Pistons and my college basketball picks. Big Daddy is no longer going to leave the reservation. We're going to stay right here on the ice.
Haven't we learned the lesson from the Pistons from years ago?
Oh,
the show contributor, Chris.
I miss it, man. Hey there, fella. It's time to be accountable.
I'm all over the Pistons.
But you like that team too much.
I like.
They're
I don't
disappointing.
know. I'm strangely a fan of the inefficiencies of Josh Smith.
Well, why? I like my very simplistic but yet right answer. Well, why?
He was so in love with that team.
Every night he picked him, and I would go, what is wrong with you? And then they would lose, and I'd go, dude, they lost again.
There's a gravity to the Pistons, too, because we have banging Pistons.
You got banging Pistons.
And then we
have... you have a mutual friend that's a huge Pistons fan.
Yeah.
Brian. And, yeah. No, I don't know what it is.
And then this recommendation about the Pistons over the weekend.
Well.
What are we doing?
His recommendation about the Pistons came from my stats, where I had told him that the Pistons had covered 8 straight games or something like that, and they were a different team since the trade. Well, the thing was, I wasn't gonna go in any action, and then he's like, the Pistons tonight. You got to go with the Pistons tonight. He loved them. I'm like, you know what? I'll start with that, Matthew. We'll go with the Pistons tonight. They got beat by like 13. It was the first game they'd lost.
No more Pistons.
It was the first game they'd lost since trading for Blake Griffin. That's this guy.
No Pistons. Only banging Pistons, and that's it. We have the jacket somewhere, the big heavy jacket that he sent us.
Sitting somewhere over here, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere around here.
Got to find a way to be able to pin these things in the foam.
People will be like, why do they have a freaking Pistons jacket?
With the Michigan State thing?
Yeah.
What is this Midwestern
What is it? Yeah, we're not putting up any Tiger stuff. I can promise you that. And I wore my Buccos stuff tonight. All right, Knowles. Let's get this thing done, baby. TLC double C, and if after the game you're driving home and you have Sirius XM, you just flip it on over to 92 and you'll hear me and Florida State golf coach Trey Jones breaking it down on Beyond the Tips. And oh, by the way, if you just can't get enough of me, I'll be on ESPNU this Sunday with Andy Staples.
I didn't know that.
That's from 9 to noon. So I'm all over the place.
A little 9 to a nooner.
A little 9 to noon, talking college sports. Me and Andy Staples, 9 to noon on Sirius XM.
Enjoy your cup of coffee on the West Coast.
There you go. You guys will get up and you'll hear the best in sports talking right there. Good work out of you. Glad you made it through the show. Get healthy.
Thanks. Going to sleep.
Tomorrow we'll celebrate a Florida State victory and a punching of the ticket. Be well. Oh, by the way, I believe Front Row Knowles.
That's correct.
Front Row Knowles is up next.
I'm told.
Tim Linnefeld is in Hawaii. I don't think he could participate.
An excellent interview with Mike Martin.
Fantastic.
One-on-one. Keith Jones, Mike Martin.
Oh, that's good. That ought to be great. I can't wait. I'm going to listen to it on my way home. Sounds good.